And here we go, getting set to kick off at Harley Stadium from the campus of Palmetto High School is the Palmetto Tigers taking on the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs in a Class 4S 13 district matchup tonight. And there's your kickoff from Brandon Gonzalez. And it's Jalen Munoz into the end zone, and that'll come back out to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Skip. Brandon Gonzalez has gone from being a serviceable kicker last year in high school to being an actual weapon. He's consistently kicking the ball deep in the end zone. He's got outside 40 to 45-yard range on field goals, and he's done an exceptional job punting.
And starting tonight for the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs, Clayton Dees at quarterback, Kevin Everhart at running back, number 3. Your receivers are Chase Edens, the top target, for Dees, Connor Anthony, Nick Sinacor, and Isaac Ashley at tight end. We'll get to the offensive line in just a little while, as well as the defensive starters for the Tigers. First down and 10 from the 20-yard line for Lakewood Ranch.
Lakewood Ranch is going to have to be able to run the ball tonight. They got behind against Manatee last week, had to throw too many times.
And Ashley in motion. And Dees completed pass to Nick Sinacor on first down. Short gain, pickup of maybe about 4 yards, 5 yards. And that's going to bring up second down and about 6. And your offensive lineman for the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs, number 61, Chad Anderson. Left guard is Brian Areco. The center is Nate Crosby. The right guard, Will Kidwell. And the right tackle is Wyatt Gattikin. Second down and 6. Dees out of the shotgun. Everhart in motion. And Dees fires incomplete. Intended for his leading receiver, Chase Edens. And that ball sails incomplete. Third down.
Yeah, they went empty there and brought Everhart in motion, trying to get some quick game stuff going. Trying not to sit back and hold the ball too long against Palmetto's defensive line. And now they got a third and long.
And here we go, Coach. Last week when we saw the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs take on the Manatee Hurricanes, Clayton Dees with his legs was absolutely deadly on third down. Let's see what they've got here cooked up for the Mustangs on third.
They're going empty again. They looked last week. They ran a quarterback draw a few times out of this.
And he's looking off to the left side. He's got a receiver. And that ball is incomplete. Nice throw, but it was great defense that time. Connor Anthony, the intended receiver.
Well defended by Palmetto, and they force a punt on a 3-and-out. And we'll see if this kind of retooled Palmetto offense from the last time we saw them. A little more emphasis on the run game, a little more 21 personnel, tight end, fullback, and running the ball a little more with their new running back, Kyrie Marshall. So we'll get a good look at that right off the bat here.
And we'll give the defense the credit on that coverage of Jaden Dunbar. Back deep now for Palmetto. Adonis Moise and Rock Lodge, number 2. And Aaron Clark gets that punt away, and this is going to be Lodge at the 42. And Lodge out to about midfield, powers his way into Lakewood Ranch territory. And the Tigers are going to have outstanding field position to begin their first drive. And we've got an injured player, Lakewood Ranch Mustang, down on the field right now.
There's a big hit by Caden Bodden on that punt return. Got in front of the guy. That's not the player who's hurt, but a little bit close to a penalty in today's football. Nowadays, if they don't see you coming, they'll call that penalty. But it definitely was in front of him, hit him in the chest. But he really lit him up on that peel back block on the punt return there.
And it's out of the camera view right now, but the trainers are out on the field right now, taking care of it, looking at the lower body and the leg.
Can't get the number or who that is.
No, he's surrounded right now by training staff for Lakewood Ranch. But it is a lower leg injury. It looks like the player's sitting back up and about to get off the field under his own power.
It's like 55.
Is that 55?
We don't have a 55 on the roster.
Well, it looks like it might be Seth Shamrock. Got it right
roster.
there. Got lots of rosters. Lots of numbers, lots of rosters, lots of names. And the Palmetto offense getting set to take the field.
And Palmetto will start with the tight end and a fullback in. Kyle Nemzik playing tight end, and Jamil Williams at fullback, number 6, with Kyrie Marshall at tailback.
And Kyrie Marshall making a recent move to tailback, and he's going to get that carry. Actually, it's a flip back to Adonis Moise coming back from the receiver spot, and he's going to really get no gain on that play. Knocked out of bounds at the Ranch 49-yard line. 2nd down and 10.
Great job by Levi Freed staying home there on the little reverse. Strung it out, threw him out of bounds for about a 1-yard loss. Freed very active in all the games we've seen in Lakewood Ranch this year. He's around the ball a lot.
And we'll get to the rest of those offensive starters after this play. 2nd down and 10 from the 49-yard line of Lakewood Ranch. Again, Marshall in the backfield behind Smith. Moise in motion. At this time, Marshall gets the handoff, and Marshall with a big hole. And Kyrie Marshall's going to take that to the house. Touchdown, Palmetto.
And that's why they moved Kyrie Marshall to tailback right there.
49 yards on that touchdown run by the Tigers, and they take an early 6-0 lead with the extra point pending. Nice run by Marshall.
Palmetto jumps out to a quick lead on the first run or second run of the game. After the reverse, Kyrie Marshall.
And Brandon Gonzalez on again now for the extra point attempt. And we'll get to the rest of those offensive starters for Palmetto. As promised after this, that drive ended rather quickly after 3 plays. Low snap. And Gonzalez gets that up and through. And so with 11 minutes to go in the opening quarter, your score from Harley Stadium at Palmetto High School, it's the Tigers 7 and the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs nothing. And getting to the rest of those Palmetto starters, the backfield, we mentioned Kyrie Marshall already. Nasir Edwards will get some carries. Jamil Williams at fullback. Zamarian Lang, Nuka Lang out at wide receiver, along with Rock Lodge and Adonis Moise up front. Keon Brown-Smith at left tackle. Jacob Stewart at left guard. DeAndre Berry at center, Teddy Powell at right guard, and Marcus Smith at right tackle with Kyle Nemzik at tight end. And now Gonzalez getting set to kick this thing off, and Jaden Munoz back deep once again for the Mustangs.
We saw Munoz have a real good night against Manatee on the pooch kicks they were trying. I don't know if he'll get any chances tonight with Gonzalez's leg, but he made some real nice returns last week.
And Munoz averaging about 22 yards per return. He's got a long of about 45.
You won't get a chance on that one. It's deep in the end zone.
He will not. And so Lakewood Ranch will begin once again from their own 20-yard line, and that's that benefit of having a kicker with a strong leg. It's not just about the field goals, Coach. It's about making every other opposing offense start at the 20-yard line, not giving up a chance for a return.
Yeah, that's one more tackle, or however many kickoffs you have. That's how many tackles you don't have to make during a game. Usually kick returners for the other team is one of their better athletes, and they have a chance to make a big play every time they touch it. So when you can eliminate that option with a kick in the end zone, you take that every time. Let's see if Lakewood Ranch tries to get the running game started. They haven't run a ball yet. They've had 3 passes.
4 wide receivers, the stack to the bottom of your screen, and Dees is going to fire out incomplete, intended for Edens. Good coverage once again by the Tiger defense, and that ball came out with a little bit of heat on it.
Caden Bodden, the same guy who made the big block on the punt return. Good coverage there. He was all over him in his back pocket. And Lakewood Ranch is still yet to attempt their first run.
Which is kind of surprising with a back like Everhart, who's able to pound that thing in there. Everhart with 702 yards. He averages 8.3 yards a carry on the season so far.
And a quarterback that can run. He can be a big part of their run game.
Absolutely. And Dees is going to throw this ball again. This time he's got his receiver, Ashley, and Ashley makes a man miss. Ashley still on his feet. And Isaac Ashley near midfield with a first down for Lakewood Ranch, across midfield, into Palmetto territory, and they'll mark that ball at the Lakewood Ranch 48-yard line.
Thomas Johnson, linebacker, ran him down from behind, prevented a bigger play. We saw Ashley earlier in the year. He had a big game against Cardinal Mooney. He had a long touchdown run. He had a couple big catches against Manatee.
And Everhart in motion, sets back up in the backfield behind Dees. And now we've got a handoff, and he's going to be stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Outstanding defense that time. It looked like maybe Drew Rumpf.
No, it was
nope.
not.
Could not tell. 99. Is that 99?
99.
99. And that's going to be Autry Walker, the defensive lineman for Palmetto. Nice penetration that time by the Tiger defense. Loss of 3 yards on the play. Second down and 13 for the Ranch. Dees. And again, he's got his receiver open on the left side. And that's 17 that time, Connor Anthony on the reception.
Yeah, a little rocket screen out there on 2nd and long. Nice safe throw and try to get part of it back. Now they got 3rd and 7, it's a little more manageable.
14th catch on the year for Anthony. 3rd down and about 7 to go. You're right, a nice chunk here right there on 2nd down to make this a manageable down and distance for Lakewood Ranch from the 45-yard line of Palmetto.
Really surprised we haven't seen Dees pull it down and run yet. By this time last week, I think he probably had 4 or 5 runs already.
And now we got 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. Everhart in the backfield with Dees. And Dees is going to take off with his ball, it looks like. Throws it downfield. We got a flag down on the play. Pass intended once again for Ashley, and it falls incomplete. Let's check the flag. Holding.
It's holding
Against the offense.
I'm assuming they'll decline that. It'll be 4th down on the incomplete pass, but it looks like Palmetto's going to take it back.
Playing field position here, I would imagine. You're banking an awful lot that a guy like Clayton Dees, with the ability that he's got to scramble, is not going to be able to pick that up. Now, granted, you're looking at
3rd and 25.
Exactly. So we do now have that ball back inside the Lakewood Ranch 49 at the 40-yard line at the 39. And it's going to be 3rd down and 25.
You probably get some sort of screen here.
And a big pressure that time. Ashley with the reception, and boy, did that backfire for the Tigers, as we've got Isaac Ashley all the way inside the 35-yard line, and that's going to be a 1st down for Lakewood Ranch. And we talked about
great throw on the seam route, and that's the danger of giving them an extra down.
Now, there's no guarantee that Lakewood Ranch actually would have lined up to punt on 4th down, but nonetheless, a huge conversion on 3rd down and 25 for the Ranch offense. Empty set now for Dees. 1st down and 10. Low snap. And Dees looks to take off, backs off, looks downfield, and his receiver wasn't able to locate that ball intended for Connor Anthony. 2nd down and 10.
Receiver looked like he was blocking down at it. Almost could be offensive interference when a ball thrown downfield when he's engaged with the defensive back actively blocking him. But I think he might have thought Dees was going to take off with it as well.
And again, a lot of throws out of this Lakewood Ranch offense so far. You know, they've got over 1,000 yards throwing on the season. Dees has thrown for 1,045, so they're no stranger to airing that ball out. But again, Everhart, 8.3 yards per carry on the season, and we've only seen 1 carry for him for -3 yards.
And anytime you throw that much, there's a lot of bad things can happen. The quarterback can get hit, get sacked, fumble, interceptions.
2nd down and 10. Dees looking to air it out again. He's got a receiver that time. Again, it's Isaac Anthony, and he will sail into the end zone. Isaac Ashley, touchdown, Lakewood Ranch.
Great catch and nice move by Ashley. And they're just attacking the middle of that Palmetto defense on the seam and slants, and he just got a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on his celebration in the end zone.
And why run the ball when you can have that kind of success throwing it and putting it up top? And again, Dees, we talked about his baseball scholarship last week. He's a great athlete, and this is his 1st year starting at quarterback, but he's proving that he's up for the task.
Looks like Palmetto's going to take the penalty on the kickoff. I thought 15 yards they would push him back. I'm not sure if he could make a 35-yarder automatically.
And this is Dylan Beazon for the extra point attempt. Sebastian Mejia with the hold. And Bess gets that kick up, and he puts it through. And so with 8:30 remaining in the opening quarter, we're all tied up here from Harley Stadium at Palmetto High School. It's the Tigers 7 and the Mustangs 7. And huge play on that drive, Coach, going back to it. Palmetto electing not to take the penalty, which would have meant a 4th down and about 7 yards to go, right around the 45-yard line of Palmetto. And instead, Clayton Dees with a huge 3rd down pass and 25 yards to go, complete for about 28 and a 1st down, and that's what led to those points.
Yeah, Isaac Ashley had 93 yards receiving on that drive because of the penalty.
93 yards.
Yeah, he got up, and then they brought it back on the penalty and caught another one.
Well, there you go. That's
one
way to get 93 yards on one drive.
On a 60-yard drive. Or 80-yard drive. Got Aaron Clark, who does the kickoffs for Lakewood Ranch, will be kicking off, and he kicked a few in the end zone last week. Palmetto apparently is playing him for a short kick. They're the deepest man back at the 15.
And once again, back deep, Adonis Moise and Rock Lodge to receive this kickoff from Lakewood Ranch and Clark. And that's going to be a short kickoff this time, and Lodge will field it right around his 15-yard line, bobbles it, turns it back up the middle. He's going to be wrapped up. We've got maybe a face mask here. 2 flags fly in on the play, and it looked like both to you and me that
well, the helmet
that
came off.
turned.
The helmet got pulled off too, so I'm assuming that's what it was.
That's another good indicator of a face mask. Sideways helmet missing, head being moved to one side.
As John Madden say, the bad news is his helmet got knocked off. The good news is his head wasn't in it.
And indeed, face mask against the Ranch. And they return that kick all the way out to just shy of the 30-yard line, so that's going to put it just short of the 45-yard line.
Well, that's partially because of the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after the touchdown on the celebration, pushing the kicker back. So now Palmetto's got good field position, and they'll come back out and let Kyrie Marshall go to work.
And from the 43-yard line, the Palmetto Tiger offense begins 1st down and 10. Under center this time, Smith, and that ball just comes out. Kyrie Marshall right into the hands of the Lakewood Ranch defender. That looks like Schwartz. And for the 2nd week in a row, Trey Schwartz with a huge defensive play, not in the end zone this time, down inside the 1-yard line. And you talk about a gift from heaven.
Yeah, there was no contact. It was just the ball just flew out of his hands. I have no idea what could have happened there. Right into the hands of Schwartz.
And Schwartz looks to be down just outside of the end zone down there. A touchdown saving tackle, but let's see for how long that lasts. Inside the 1 is where this ball is going to be spotted. 1st down and goal for the Ranch. And again, similar to last week when we saw that Lakewood Ranch Mustang offense getting set up at the 4-yard line following a series of bad snaps from Manatee. Now this offense is set up inside the 1-yard line in a tie ball game. So very similar start with a good break going towards Lakewood Ranch in a district game, a huge matchup for plays like that to unfold.
And we saw last week Lakewood Ranch jump up under center real quick and run a quarterback sneak. I wouldn't be shocked to see that here with an athletic quarterback like these behind the center.
Or Everhart with 13 touchdowns on the year.
Yes, and that's last week they went straight to the zone read and powered it in there on one play.
And it looks like they're going to spot that just outside the 1 for what that's worth. Still an obviously short field for the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs. First down, Everhart in the backfield behind Dees. And that handoff is going to go to Kevin Everhart. And Everhart powers his way into the end zone with a 1-yard touchdown run. And the Mustangs convert on that turnover by the Palmetto offense. You don't often see a ball just fall out of the running back's hands like that. It looked at the mesh point, and it went straight up in the air and right into the hands. I mean, you talk about a fortuitous bounce.
Yeah, similar to the bounce Manatee got last week against Lakewood Ranch.
With Squitieri picking that ball up off the
ground. Took a high bounce off the ground to the quarterback, and he ended up getting a first down on it. Sometimes the ball's got points on it, bounces strange ways.
The oblong spheroid, as we say. Dylan Bess on again to kick the extra point for the Ranch. And Mejia gets it down, and Bess puts it through, and it's good. And with 8:07 now remaining in the opening quarter.
A lot of penetration here on the extra point, but he got it up. Palmetto came close to getting that one. That's something to look for later in the game. They might have found a spot they feel like they can penetrate and block a kick later on.
And this is a good opportunity to remind everybody out there listening to the game tonight that the Manatee Schools television broadcast of the high school game of the week is a effort between not only the broadcast Manatee Schools television, but the host schools TV and production class. And I just like to go ahead and thank our student camera operators this evening, Rashaya Brown, Cooper Stover, and Will Weaver. On short notice, actually, got out there, and they're doing a bang-up job so far operating our cameras for tonight's broadcast. So outstanding job to those guys. And we might as well mention Nick Backelder and Adam McCune getting it done out there. A lot of sweat going on tonight to get this game on the air.
Literally blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood and sweat, you're right.
And we got to thank Brian Wilkes, the athletic director here at Palmetto, because I told him I'd mention his name.
I really want to thank Brian Wilkes for bringing me a nice ice-cold bottle of water. That was outstanding. And that ball's going to travel into the end zone. Clark's kick will be down there, and the Tiger offense will begin first down and 10 at the 20-yard line. A huge run on the first drive of the game by Kyrie Marshall, and on the first play of their second drive, disaster. So something in between, at least here.
Be interesting to see if they get him the ball right away. I'd like to try to, a guy you're going to have to count on that's going to have to get the job for you, get the job done for you. You got to go back to him and get his confidence back right away. Don't let him dwell on it. But looks like they've got 21 in at running back instead of 41.
And that's Nasir Edwards, 111 yards on the season for him. And Smith up under center. And Edwards with the carry off the left side. Edwards with a nice run, gets to the perimeter and past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. It looks like where they're going to mark him out of bounds, and that's going to be good enough for a Tiger first down.
The Palmetto was in a little tight bunch there into the boundary, and the receivers did a good job blocking, pinning the defenders inside, get them to the edge. The Palmetto's going to go hurry up here.
Yeah, they are at the 33-yard line. First down and 10 Tigers. Hard count by Smith. And we've got flags down on the field, stoppage of play. Looked like maybe some movement. Pre-snap foul, dead ball foul.
Yeah, looks like somebody on Palmetto lined up offsides. Referee linesman gave the offside sign. Not a legal procedure, so somebody must have been in the neutral zone.
You called it, Coach.
By formation.
Look at the ball. And that's going to back the Tigers up inside the 30-yard line down to the 27. It's going to bring up a first down, first down and 15.
We talk every week about how frustrating for coaches those pre-snap penalties are. You know, that aren't as a result of effort, but a lack of focus, and that just drives coaches crazy and puts you in a hole behind the sticks.
Took the words out of my mouth. Behind the chains. Let's see what they could do on first down to get some of that back. And that pass is high to Callaway. He's going to be brought down immediately along the sidelines on the left-hand side. He'll get that 5 yards back, but that's about it. And Callaway with his 14th catch on the year. And they're not even going to get him the 5 yards back. That's a pickup of 4 yards from Malik Callaway. Second down and 11 to go.
Yeah, a little hitch into the boundary is probably the safest throw you can make if they're going to give you soft coverage down there.
And Edwards on the carry slams into that Lakewood Ranch defense, and he's going to go nowhere. Stacked up by a host of Mustang defenders.
That was Marshall that time, I think, back in. Kyrie Marshall, 41. And run into the pile there.
You're right, 4 and 1. And back comes 21 into the game as Marshall has to get a breather on the sideline. Again, a hard count by Smith. Looks back to the sideline. Moise and Lang to the bottom of your screen. Lodge was going in motion. Sets back up in the slot. Callaway outside.
A long time. You got 5 seconds to get this off.
A lot of motion, pre-snap motion by that Tiger offense. And Smith looks deep, and that's going to be overthrown. Intended for number 2, Lodge. And that's going to bring up 4th down. And the Tiger offense comes off the field. They're going to have to punt this thing away. So after a promising start with that huge 45-yard run by Kyrie Marshall, that Palmetto Tiger offense, penalties, turnovers, they're their own worst enemy so far. And Jaden Munoz back standing at his own 30 to receive this Brandon Gonzalez punt. It's a little bit of a wobbler. It's going to get a bounce, and it's not going to take a very good Palmetto bounce. As a matter of fact, it takes a backwards Lakewood Ranch bounce, and that ball is going to be spotted at the 39-yard line. Outstanding field position for the Mustangs. First time they've had the ball anywhere else other than their 20-yard line to start a drive anyway.
We'll see now if Lakewood Ranch goes to the running game a little bit. Now they're up 14-7. They've been throwing almost exclusively, except for the touchdown run from the one.
But I'll tell you,
one
Coach,
other short run.
When it's working, it's working.
That's true.
We question the the commitment to the air attack that Lakewood Ranch is putting out there, but it definitely produced results.
Well, they obviously saw something in their preparation for the game and their game plan that they thought they could attack the inside cutting routes, the slants and seam routes, and
that's a very talented, athletic secondary that Palmetto has as well. Well-coached secondary, we might add. Isaiah Jackson, Jaden Dunbar, Nate Dawes, Colton Davis. You even mentioned Caden Bodden out there with a couple of picks on the year as well.
The Lakewood Ranch has got some big-bodied receivers, and they move pretty well, and they kind of box people out, and it's hard to get around them and make a play on the ball. They position themselves well, and Dees has done a great job putting the ball on the money.
And as we said on that last drive, 93 yards, for that Lakewood Ranch receiver Isaac Ashley on an 80-yard drive. They're going to mark that ball actually at the 38-yard line. First down and 10 for the Ranch. Again, Everhart in the backfield behind Dees. Anthony and Edens to the top of your screen, and Sinacor and Anthony to the bottom. Or Ashley, excuse me. And that's going to be Sinacor on the reception, and Sinacor spins out of a tackle, and he's going to pick up a Lakewood Ranch first down on that first play across midfield into Palmetto territory.
That was a well-designed play, just a little stick route with Ashley running a corner route and Sinacor coming up underneath him, the area that we vacated, and then they run the run back in motion and flare him out and create that triangle and attack the triangle, and the quarterback made a great read, delivered the ball to a wide-open receiver, he made the catch, and you got another first down.
We got two backs now in behind Dees.
That's illegal motion.
That's Edens in motion, and there you go, Coach. There's a flag.
Back.
That's a nice carry by Everhart, but it's going to be for naught with that penalty flag down.
Yeah, the wide receiver down the bottom was moving to reset when the running back started to go in motion, so you had two guys moving, and they didn't both come set, so that's illegal motion.
Nicely explained.
And with the play that was called, it really didn't matter where the receiver lined up, how wide he was. He could have stayed where he was. And
that'll push the ball back inside Mustang territory to the 48-yard line.
First and 15 for Lakewood Ranch.
Three receivers at the bottom of your screen. Everhart flares out in motion. And Dees under heat, and Dees is going to try to take off and escapes the pressure. Clayton Dees still on his feet, rolling right, flags down. Dees fires a wobbler down the field, and that's going to be caught by Sinacor, but we've got two flags down on the field. And it looks like that one might be coming back.
Boy, you see the athleticism of D's on display there, scrambling, buying time. A little loose with the football, though. Watch out for that moving forward. The ball security when he's scrambling around, he's holding the ball out with one hand, and that can be dangerous in that traffic.
We got a hold against the offense, as you might have suspected.
So we're going to get a first down and
country mile.
27.
Took about 28, if you ask me. First down again.
First and 28.
The third consecutive first down play for the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs. This time they keep moving it back. 28 yards to go this time.
The last time they had long yardage like this, they ran a wide receiver screen, like good safe play to run.
Three receivers once again to the bottom of the screen. D's out of the shotgun. Everhart in the backfield, and D's looking right.
There's a
and
screen.
He'll dump it off to Everhart. And Everhart with a lot of room off that left side before he runs into a Palmetto defender at midfield and driven out of bounds. Big chunk of that yardage back, though, Coach.
Yeah, but big. Got half of it back there now, which is good play. He ran a nice safe screen. Now you got 2nd and 14.
16 yards on that dump off to Everhart, and that's going to be second down now and 12 to go, maybe about 13. Eden's in motion. Hand off to Everhart. And Everhart's going to be brought down after a short gain, maybe 3 yards, back to the original line of scrimmage, about 3rd down and 10. Into Palmetto territory. And Lakewood Ranch looking to the sideline to get that play in.
This is the big play here for Palmetto. They can get off the field here and get a 4th and 10, kind of force a punt.
Agreed. Down 7. Momentum definitely on Lakewood Ranch side. They need a big play. Everhart again in motion, and Dees is going to take off. That's a design run, and Clayton Dees nailed at the 40-yard line of the Tigers. He's put down hard, and that's going to be a 4th down and short now, Coach.
I think they'll go for it. From what we've seen from Coach West last week, 4th and short with this quarterback, I think he has confidence in him and making the right decision. They're not even huddling. They're going right to the line of scrimmage.
4th down and 4.
Trying to draw Palmetto offsides first.
Exactly. But that doesn't mean they're not going to try to snap this ball.
With all these teams doing no huddle stuff nowadays, it's so much easier to line up the line of scrimmage and try to get them to draw offsides and signal something in.
Plenty of time.
They're going empty.
And Dees looks to take off, and that ball is going to be floated to Everhart. Everhart with plenty of room over the middle, and Everhart still on his feet past the sticks.
First down.
And that's going to be a first down for the Mustangs at the 35-yard line.
Another screen.
So the 4th down conversion is good.
Well-designed play. They went in trips, widened everybody out, and then it came the screen back inside to Everhart. And Palmetto's defense is looking fatigued. You see a lot of hands on the hips, and
they've been on that field for a long time in this first quarter so far. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the opening quarter.
And they played a game Tuesday night
High
as well.
snap, and that ball's on the ground, and Everhart looks like he fell on top of it. And indeed he did. That's going to be a loss on the play of about 4 yards. So that's going to be second down now and 14. Ball spotted back at the 40-yard line. Two receivers split out of the boundary, two to the field side. Everhart next to Dees in the backfield. And Dees, again, looks to pull a trigger, and then he goes down.
Ball's out.
And that looked like it was a fumble, and it is Palmetto football.
I mentioned when he was scrambling around, holding the ball with one hand, no ball security.
Is that Drew Rumpf?
Rumpf came up with the ball. I didn't see who stripped it, but Rumpf came up with the ball.
So with that Palmetto Tiger recovery, they're going to spot the ball at the 47-yard line of the Tigers. First down and 10 Palmetto, and that's the break they needed, Coach. We talked about momentum being on Lakewood Ranch's side, no more. Let's see what the Tiger offense can do with it this time. You know, you looked at Dees that time. It looked like he was trying to actually maybe dump that ball off and then pulled it back. And you talked about the ball security and holding it like a loaf of bread, but it did look like he was thinking of at least throwing it.
In that traffic, in between the tackles, you got to have 2 hands on the ball.
Xander Smith, passes dropped, intended for Adonis Moise. And that's going to be 2nd down now and 10 for the Tigers.
I think that was Callaway. I think it was 4.
Was that 4?
I think so.
Again,
ball's got to be caught. That's
red numbers, black jerseys.
They're tough to see, especially on the far side.
And especially when you're old.
Yes.
Boy, it looked like a 1.
Looked like he was trying to make a move before he caught it, and didn't look the ball in. And that hitch into the boundary against zone should be a 100% completion rate almost.
And 2nd down and 10 now. Smith under center. And Smith is going to hand that ball off. Kyrie Marshall, and Marshall with a big run. Kyrie Marshall inside the 40-yard line to the 39. 1st down and 10, Palmetto.
A good drive off the ball by the offensive line.
And a violent run by Marshall that time.
Not a penalty, though. It's coming back.
And again, Palmetto self-destructing with penalties, holding against the offense that time after a huge run, a much-needed run for that Palmetto Tiger offense, and they're going to get backed up into their own end. That ball spotted now back at the 41-yard line. So that's a spot foul at least. It's not going to take them back 10 yards behind the sticks. And that's going to be 2nd down and about 17. Good call, Coach. Smith once again gets up underneath center. That ball's going to be handed off. It looks like that time it was Edwards with a carry, and he's going to go nowhere. Stood up at the line of scrimmage.
Trey Schwartz was in there, and 64, Nate Smith, big Nate Smith, and Schwartz getting involved in that tackle.
And it's good to see Trey Schwartz back in the game. It looked like he was a little banged up after that fumble recovery all the way down to the 1-yard line that set up that 2nd Lakewood Ranch touchdown. And now the Palmetto offense, 3rd down and long, 17 to go from their own 41-yard line. And Smith looking downfield, and Smith has got a receiver wide open. It's Lang, and Zamarian Lang with the catch and breaks the tackle. Luka Lang, touchdown, Palmetto. And that is the play that Palmetto needed to get back in this game.
He ran right by the DB, almost was underthrown, came back, made a nice play.
That was underthrown, but he beat the defensive back.
Like we said last week, when the guy's that far open, you don't want to overthrow it. You know, you can underthrow a little bit, and the guy still couldn't get to it. So,
and that gets that Palmetto crowd back into it.
A lot of times you see a guy that far open and see the quarterback try to make the perfect throw out in front and overthrow him.
And again, nice camera work by our student camera operators. Want to give them another shout out. And that's Rashia Brown, Cooper Stover, and Will Weaver. Great job up there, guys. And Brandon Gonzalez on for the extra point attempt for the Tigers to tie this thing up. Flag down.
Offside on the defense. Palmetto had no tee, and they were getting ready to use a timeout to get a tee in the game for the kicker. And now I'd go 2, maybe.
That's exactly what I was wondering. Do you go for 2 early in the ball game, half the distance here?
They declined it, and they're just going to kick it from there. But at least it gave them time to get the tee in. Apparently they couldn't find the tee. I've been there before.
Graham puts that thing up and puts it through. And with $1:11 to go in the opening frame, we've got ourselves a tie ball game at Harley Stadium. Coach, 14 all between the Mustangs and the Tigers.
Seems like every game we do turns into a barn burner.
I like that.
MSTV
shows
up.
Don't jinx us now.
MSTV
Make this into
shows
Thursday night football or anything like that.
Good game. Good game here. 14-14.
Well, it's a big game, too. I mean, there's a lot on the line. We didn't even talk about, because we didn't really have a pregame tonight, Palmetto playing a game on Tuesday against Southeast. Now, granted, they were able to rest a lot of their starters in that 40-3 victory. They had a light week of practice. But nonetheless, that was just 3 days ago, and this is a big district game. Lakewood Ranch already 0-1 in the district. Palmetto playing their first district game. Whoever wins this game, I'll tell you what, it's going to set up either a three-way challenge, with that Palmetto and Manatee game looming large on October 28th.
Yeah, Lakewood Ranch is playing for their lives.
They are. If Lakewood Ranch loses this game, they're out of it. And Munoz with the return, and Munoz flagged down on the field and ball on the ground. So balls hitting the ground everywhere. Let's see what this flag is. You got to think that that's going to be on the return team.
43 for Palmetto recovered the fumble. Christian Dozier came up with the ball, and we think it was caused by 29, Dominic Harris.
And that was a hold against the return team, and obviously that's going to be declined, and Palmetto's going to take over with incredible field position inside the Lakewood Ranch 30-yard line. Let's see where they spot this ball, but wow, you talk about the bounce of the ball. It's played a pretty large role here tonight, Coach.
Oh, he was stripping the ball, too. You could see him go to the ball. It was a intentional caused fumble. He went and stripped the ball out of his hands. Dozier got on it. That's a good play by the special teams. And he had a pretty good return up to that point.
And they're going to spot that ball right at the 30-yard line. First down and 10 for Palmetto there.
And Palmetto gets the short field now. We'll see what they can do with it.
Bunch formation to the bottom, and that's going to go to Marshall. And Marshall again burst through the line of scrimmage, and a nice pickup on first down. And Marshall running hard tonight. Looks like a pickup of maybe 7 to 8 yards. Let's see where they spot. They're going to spot it after about a 6-yard gain. So that ball's going to be just inside the 25 at the 24-yard line. Second down and 4.
He'll be taking a long time getting this play off.
Moise and Lang split out to the top of your screen. And again, Marshall with a handoff. Marshall with a hole, and Marshall still spinning his way forward for a first down. First and 10 just outside the 15-yard line for Palmetto.
You got to love the aggression he runs with. He's not the hunted. He's the hunter. He's attacking the defense. He's going to be the hammer, not the nail.
Remember, he came over from playing linebacker earlier this year. Now, he was playing running back earlier in his career as a sophomore, but earlier this year started the year off at linebacker, and he's playing like a linebacker. Smith got a pitch, man. It's going to keep it, and he'll go down. Nice tackle that time. Good disciplined defense by the Lakewood Ranch Mustang. Another flag down on the field. It is laundry night.
It's on Palmetto.
They're talking to the Lakewood Ranch sideline, so you think it is against Palmetto?
It looks like he was asking them if they wanted the penalty or not, and the quarter ended, so we'll be taking it down to the other end of the field. If it was a defensive penalty, you would play an untimed down, I believe.
Well, I think we're going to go ahead and take advantage of this break right now at the quarter break while they sort out the penalty. And let's see if we can get a message in for the school district of Manatee County. And we'll be right back. Your score from Harley Stadium, it's 14-14, the Tigers and the Mustangs.
Start a great future with the School District of Manatee County. Apply now at manateeschools.net/careers.
And welcome back to Harley Stadium on the campus of Palmetto High School with a 14-all ball game to start the second quarter. First down and 10 for the Tigers inside their own 15-yard line.
Kyrie Marshall with 63 yards rushing so far. Skip having a good first quarter.
And like you said, not just the production, but the style points are there as well.
Take away the fumble. He's played a real good half.
Lodge on the carry this time for the Tigers, and he'll get minimal yards off that left side, maybe a pickup of 3 or 4. Check that. That's Nasir Edwards. Sorry about that.
Those red numbers on the black jerseys again.
I'm not going to keep using that as an excuse, even though, you know, it's what it is. I wonder if they make binocular glasses. You know, like you can just put them on your face and you can see long distance, and then you got the bifocal. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Well, Marshall's back into the backfield now, and it's 3rd down.
3rd down and 5.
If they run it here, I guess that you're thinking it's at 4-down territory. They play action.
And Smith's going to roll
Got
out
the
to his
tight end
right.
over the
Smith
middle.
fires to the end zone. 2 receivers there, and that ball's going to fall incomplete. 4th down for the Tigers.
Thought he had Nemzik over the middle there. He tried to hit him a little late and threw it behind him. The tight end dragging across on the boot.
So Lakewood Ranch with a good job on that defense, stiffening up after Palmetto took over following the fumble on the kickoff return. And let's see if they can convert this with 3 points on the leg of Brandon Gonzalez.
This is a big moral victory for Lakewood Ranch if you can turn the ball over at the 30 and hold them to 3 points. Or maybe block this or hold them to 0 points. It's a huge boost for Lakewood Ranch.
And Xander Smith with the hold.
Lakewood Ranch going safe, like they might be expecting a fake. They're not bringing anybody to try to block it.
Smith gets that ball down, and Gonzalez puts it through. And with 11:08 remaining in the second quarter, the Tigers take a 3-point lead here at home against the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs. And again, like you said, Coach, a moral victory, if you will, for that Lakewood Ranch defense. They needed to stiffen right there to keep Palmetto out of it, because we talked about the momentum early on in this ball game being on Lakewood Ranch's sideline. Well, it jumped big time back onto that Palmetto side, and Lakewood Ranch just got a little bit of it back.
Yeah, they cut it in half a little bit. Only gave up 3 points after turning it over at the 30. So their defensive staff and their teams over there now saying we did a great job. We can hold them in the red zone, so we know we can play the rest of the night with them.
And Munoz and Everhart back deep for the Mustangs. Brandon Graham getting set to kick this thing off for the Tigers. And here we go. Total 11. And Gonzalez puts that ball deep into the end zone, and Lakewood Ranch is going to begin 1st down and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
Once again, when you see a high school kicker doing that on both ends of the field, we know it's not a windy night. It's a
Good
legit
leg.
kick, good leg. And Lakewood Ranch is starting from the 20 again. 80 yards is a long way to go in high school football.
You know, the other side of that coin, though, if you remember the last kickoff, Jaden Munoz, nice return, but then lost the football. So, you know, there is a downside to those returns, not just for the kickoff team, but also for the return team. But I think overall, you want a kicker that can put that in the end zone and force the offense to start at the 20 every time.
Yeah, there's a lot of execution has to go into driving 80 yards in high school football, and a lot of opportunities for mistakes being made. So when you can pin somebody at the 20, you're going to usually do a pretty good job defensively.
Twins at the top, twins at the bottom. Ashley in motion, and that pass is going to be incomplete, intended for Isaac Ashley that time, and double covered. You know, outstanding coverage in that zone by Palmetto's defense.
Brought Ashley in motion from the outside, ran a little slant there. Obviously, like I said earlier, they've seen something in their game planning that they want to attack the slants and the seam routes.
And that's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 now from the 20-yard line for the Mustangs.
Both receivers are stacked and set wide. It's probably going to be a run.
And Everhart with a little bit of a hole up the middle, and Kevin Everhart just shy of the 25-yard line. Pick up of 4 yards, 3rd down and 6 for the Mustangs. And again, we talked about Clayton Dees and his legs on third down. The last time they faced that third down conversion, it was a designed draw by that quarterback. Let's see what Coach West has got cooked up here. And again, Ashley in motion, turns upfield, and there goes Dees taking off. And Clayton Dees, with a lot of room in front of him, slides down for a Lakewood Ranch first down, just shy of the 40-yard line. First down and 10 Mustangs.
Well, it's the first time we've seen it tonight work for them. We saw it a lot against Manatee. He's got some acceleration, and he's a good athlete, and he can do that. He'll hurt you if there's nobody in the middle of the field.
You just got to be aware on third down especially. That's when he tends to take off. First down and 10. From the 38-yard line, and that time it looked like it was Ashley again on the reception. Check that, it is Eden's on the reception. His first of the night, 16th on the year. And a minimum gain, if any gain at all. Looks like it's going to be spotted right at the line of scrimmage, second down and 10. And now we got a 3 wide receiver set at the bottom of your screen with Ashley, Anthony, and Sinacor. Eden's to the top. Everhart in the backfield. And here goes Dees again. He's going to hold up on taking off. He's going to pull the trigger on that pass, and he's leveled that time. Boy, that linebacker, Dotston Chikatev.
Dastan
Chikatev.
They call him Dino. Nobody can pronounce his name.
Chikatayev. We appreciate that help up here in the press box because I was not going to get that one.
Most people just call him Dino.
Dino. So we'll just go with Dino. Dino. Is it Dino? Okay, Dino. That was a big hit, incomplete pass. That pressure caused that pass. He had his man open downfield for a big gain.
Yeah, that's one of those hits that will linger. The remnants of that will linger as the game goes on. He'll remember that one.
Big play for the Palmetto defense and the Lakewood Ranch offense. Third down and 10. Dees fires it out to Everhart in the flats. Everhart with one man to beat, makes a miss. Everhart with a first down for Lakewood Ranch out to midfield. Big play by that Lakewood Ranch offense.
Great play by Everhart. It was well defended. They had a guy out there in the flats. He just couldn't make the play.
And so it's going to be marked shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. First down and 10 for the Ranch. Dees again out of the gun, calls for the ball, and gets it out to Eden's his favorite target. And Eden splits the defenders and able to pick up 8 yards, maybe 9 on that first down catch. Inside the 45, down to the 43-yard line.
Eden's just stacked behind Ashley there. He just turns and looks at the quarterback, and they're lined up in the same formation. I think it's a little RPO. They could run zone read out of this, or they can throw the bubble out there to 14. The same. Now he's widening out into a more traditional trips formation.
A little bit of a low snap. Dees handles it, gets that ball out to Sinacor, and Sinacor again splits 2 defenders out there in the flats and picks up a big chunk of yards for another first down out just outside the 30-yard line to the 31-yard line. And again, a little bit of sloppy tackling by the Palmetto defense right now,
3
Coach.
plays in a row that were defended properly, and nobody could make the tackle. There's 2 guys.
One good block out there. I mean, Eden's did get a good block, but that's a missed tackle. And that ball spotted at the 33-yard line. First down and 10 for the Ranch. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Little movement up front, no flags down. Everhart with a carry. And that time, Palmetto's defense stout, bringing Everhart down right at the 30-yard line. Pickup of 3 yards, second down and 7.
There's Thomas Johnson making a tackle, Palmetto's leading tackler at the linebacker position.
Dees snap off to the side, able to field it. Neverhart with another nice run inside the 25-yard line, maybe down to the 24 or right at the 25. And that's
Kyrie Marshall on the tackle, coming back in on linebacker.
Playing both ways. I was asking coaches before the game whether he'd see any action on defense, and there he is. So 2 yards from pay dirt here for another first down, 3rd down and 2 for the Ranch. And again, that ball spotted right about the 25-yard line. 3rd down and 2 as Dees gets the play from the sideline. Low snap again. And Dees under pressure that time. Marshall in the backfield missed him, and Dees still on his feet. Clayton Dees inside the 10 or near the 10-yard line. And boy, Kyrie Marshall almost got him in the backfield. But Clayton Dees again with his legs, and again on 3rd down, down to the 10-yard line, where it's going to be 1st down and goal for the Mustang offense.
We saw it all last week. That's what he does. He just makes guys miss and scrambles and makes plays when there's nothing there. And there's no replacement for that. Having a quarterback that can turn a negative play like that into a positive play.
And time again, he's delivered, especially again on 3rd down. It's been uncanny.
Yeah, that's one of the attributes of a quarterback that you always look for, is the ability to turn a bad play into a good play.
And here we go, 1st down and goal from the 10-yard line, and Dees pitches it, and that ball's on the ground. Everhart covers it, but a loss of 2 on the play. Excuse me, check that. A loss of 6 on the play, 7 on the play. 2nd down and 17. Let's take another look.
They try a little speed option here. I don't know if he's reading it or just taking 2 steps and pitching it. Looks like a 1-2 pitch. I think more times than not, if you're not an option team, you're probably wasting your time even running that. If you're not doing it all the time every day, we see a lot of teams who run options sparingly. They don't have much success with it.
And with 5:54 to go in the first half, Lakewood Ranch is going to take their first time out of the half.
2nd and goal.
And, it's another good opportunity to talk about the Manatee Schools television broadcast and what this is all about. This is the first year that we've actually brought a high school game of the week through MSTV, and it's a partnership with, again, the host school TV and production classroom. And that's one of the great things about this broadcast is working with the students, giving them real-world experience, operating cameras, being a part of the production. And we're proud to be able to work with those kids and together bring you these games each and every week. So they're doing a fantastic job, each of the schools that we visit. And tonight at Palmetto High School, again, same thing here. Great job by the camera work up there with those students. And Lakewood Ranch getting back on the field now. Ball back at the 17-yard line. 2nd down and goal after that 7-yard loss on 1st down. Dees again getting that play in from the sideline after that Lakewood Ranch timeout.
I have no idea what the delay is here. What's going on? They had a timeout to discuss what play they wanted to run. I guess they wanted to see what kind of defense Palmetto came out in.
And Palmetto's going to bring 4. Dees looks into the end zone, fires, and he overthrows Anthony, his intended receiver, in the end zone. 3rd down and goal from the 17-yard line coming up.
Looked like Dees was expecting the receiver to take an outside release and run a fade route, and he worked inside and up the seam, and that wasn't even close. So you got 3rd and goal.
And we've got another timeout on the field. Water break.
Now, we saw Coach West last week against Manatee in these type of situations throw a screen, something planned to get half of it back, not try to get all in one play. And then if you get close enough to roll the dice, fine. If not, you go ahead and kick the field goal and tie the game.
Well, they are within Aaron Clark's field goal range, obviously, where they're at right now, the 17-yard line. That's within range. The question is, how many yards do you get here on 3rd down? Is it going to be tempting enough to go for it on 4th down? But we are also dealing with a 3-point ball game right now. It would make sense to tie this thing up, or at least attempt to tie this thing up on the leg of Aaron Clark. But one of the things we've learned so far, especially with this Lakewood Ranch offense, don't count on them punting or kicking field goals on 4th down. And And after that water break, Lakewood Ranch offense coming back to the ball. Again, 3rd down and goal from the 17-yard line. And again, Coach, let's just see what Clayton Dees does here on 3rd down. Is he going to throw it? Is he going to try to tuck it and run it? Eden's in motion. Dees looks downfield. He's got a man in the end zone. Overthrows, hard hit in the end zone. No flags down, and that's going to be 4th down and 17. 4th and goal.
A little wheel route for the inside receiver there.
That was Everhard.
He did pop open for a second, but
he had a step on his man. There was another receiver in the area, too, drawing that defender in there.
And the safety was in pretty good position to force the high throw. I think if you try to stick it in there, that ball's going to get picked. So that's pretty well defended. And Lakewood Ranch is going to go ahead and try to field goal.
And that Palmetto defense stiffens after Lakewood Ranch threatened to get in there. And so Aaron Clark is going to come on to attempt a field goal.
36-yard attempt.
And we got a stoppage and a flag down. And boy, that Palmetto kick block team was
offsides on Palmetto.
That's why they got in there so quick. And again, that's 4th down and 17, or 4th and goal from the 17-yard line. So that's not going to be enough to entice Lakewood Ranch to go for it on 4th down more than likely. They're going to keep that field goal team out there.
No, but a 31-yard field goal is much more manageable than 36 in high school. So.
Let's try this one more time. Good snap, good hold, and Clark puts it through. And with 5 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the first half, and that clock's running for some reason, we got ourselves a tie ball game, 17 apiece. So here we go, back and forth game. We had a lot of big plays in that second quarter, Coach. A little bit of a crazy second quarter, if you would, with those turnovers, with those big plays. And with 5:34 remaining in the opening half, we've got ourselves a tie ball game in this critical 4S District 13 matchup between the Mustangs and the Tigers. As advertised, big game.
Yeah, definitely big game. Like I said, Lakewood Ranch playing for their playoff lives, and they're playing like it. They're scrapping, hanging in there.
Well, after seeing both of these teams a couple of times already this year, we had a good idea that this would be a good game. You know, you look at the series history between Palmetto and between Lakewood Ranch, and it's almost just as one-sided as that series history between Lakewood Ranch and Manatee that we had last week. Lakewood Ranch, as a matter of fact, you've got to go all the way back to the 2009 year, the last time that this Mustang team was able to beat a Palmetto Tiger team. And Clark puts that thing just across the goal line, and that's going to come back out to the 20-yard line where Palmetto will begin 1st down and 10. And again, you look at that series history, getting back to it, it's not just one-sided in terms of victory. These are blowout victories. The average score in games between the Tigers and Mustangs has been a 35-7 advantage in favor of the Palmetto Tigers. So much like Manatee, Palmetto exerting a lot of dominance over the years over that Lakewood Ranch program, which really didn't begin until 1998. But now, all three of those teams in the exact same district, and Lakewood Ranch in the first year as district foes with those two teams is hanging tough with both of them.
And Coach West and his staff and the kids are well aware of their kind of the stepchild and kind of have a little chip on their shoulder and use that as motivation, I think, from talking to them.
And Coach West has got his guys ready to play each and every week, that's for sure. Smith on the flare out to Lodge, and Lodge with room on that left side, and Rock Lodge out past the sticks for a Palmetto 1st down, marked out of bounds at the 32-yard line. At least I think that was number 2.
Yeah, that was number 2.
It's a big blurry red blob on a black jersey from where I sit, so. True, the height.
Splits out here to this side now.
Just under 5.5 minutes to go in the opening half.
Palmetto, a little confusion on the formation here.
And Callaway gets back to the top of your screen. Lodge now in motion. Lodge turns upfield, slips.
It was
Smith
wide open.
Smith
coverage.
has got him wide open, and there's Lodge with the defender closing. Lodge spins out of it, and Everhart on defense brings him down that time, but Rock Lodge wide open, uncovered. Huge play for the Tigers down inside the 25 to the 22-yard line.
That's a blown coverage. Everhart at corner came up. I don't know on what, but he came up. There was no help over the top. He's wide open.
And if that pass is thrown on the money, that's a touchdown.
Yeah, he's got to get that ball a little less air on it when they're that open and just throw a ball out there on the line. He's got the arm to do that. And hit him so he can turn and run.
They're going to mark that ball at the 21-yard line, just outside the 21-yard line. First down and 10 for the Tigers. 5:16 to go in the opening half.
I think they gave the same formation and motion as they did in the previous play. Maybe Everhart thought they were going to throw the bubble again, so he was kind of coming up aggressively.
And Kyrie Marshall with a handoff. Tough yards up the right side. He'll pick up maybe 3 down to the 18-yard line. Second down and 7 coming up for the Tigers.
Down in the red zone here, and we'll see what Coach Marino and Coach Stolt have in mind for.
And Moise to the top of your screen, Lang to the bottom of your screen. Williams lined up as an H-back. And Jamil Williams goes to the other side of the formation. And Smith looks to throw the ball. He's got a receiver, wide open, touchdown, Lang,
beautiful
Palmetto.
He looked at him. He was covered in the first window. He held on to it till he cleared the linebacker and hit him in the second window.
Number 7, Zamarian Nuka Lang with that touchdown. And Palmetto retakes the lead with 4:23 to go in the opening half.
You can see him. He actually signaled for him to keep running the route and waited till he cleared the window on the replay. Beautiful read. He sees him. He's covered. He actually waves him over and says, keep running.
Yep, there you go. Good call.
Throws to the open spot.
Nice throw.
Touchdown. Great job by Xander Smith on that throw. Good call by the Palmetto offensive staff, Coach Marino, Coach Stolt.
And Smith gets it down, and Gonzalez puts it through. And with 4:23 to go in the opening half, your score from Harley Stadium at Palmetto High School, it's the Tigers 24 and the Mustangs 17. And the excitement continues here in this second quarter. Really exciting, fast-paced game, big plays back and forth. You couldn't ask more for a district game, district matchup here tonight, Coach.
This is what it's all about. We got nice weather tonight. It's homecoming. Palmetto's second game in 4 days.
It's a beautiful night for football in North Manatee County. You kidding me? It doesn't get much better than this.
We got a good crowd on hand. Lakewood Ranch has the visitor side packed. We got a good crowd here on the Palmetto side, on the home side, for homecoming festivities and to watch the game.
Yeah, and as you look around the track and at the stadium here, there are a lot of people out there milling about. So there's a huge crowd here tonight.
They're enjoying their burgers grilled by the Good News Grillers. Jim Corbett and the Good News Grillers down there grilling up burgers. I heard they were fantastic.
Just down there talking to Jim and his daughter Brooke, who works over here with you.
Good people.
And here we go. Brandon Gonzalez set to kick it off.
That's going to be
and
returnable.
Jaden Munoz is going to have a chance here, and he does. And Munoz with another nice return. Jaden Munoz makes a man miss and is going to get that ball out past the 35, down to the 37-yard line. Lakewood Ranch down 7 in this ball game with 4 minutes to go, just over 4 minutes to go, now with great field position.
It's interesting they never try to get Jaden Munoz the ball offensively. For what we've seen in 2 games, he's pretty electric and has the ability to make people miss. He's got good speed.
They're going to spot that ball at the 38-yard line for the Mustangs. First down and 10.
Plenty of time, 4:15. They don't have to hurry here. They can go their normal pace.
And we've got a stoppage on the field.
The ref is having number 4 go off.
Equipment. Oh, now we must have said something to the referee. Got a flag on that.
His pants are up like shorts, which is not allowed in high school. And he was taking him out of the game because his pants were not appropriate. And somebody must have said something. And the flag
That's
flew.
definitely a verbal penalty.
There
Another
goes
one. Whoa. threw that one with a little bit of emphasis.
Yeah, it was kind of in the direction of where whoever was said something down there. There might be two of them there.
It looked like it.
Might get 30 yards of penalties.
That was an emphatic second penalty that came out of there, dead ball after the first one, so they can mark off both these penalties.
Wow.
I mean, that's 30 yards if that's indeed what they're going to do here.
All over the fact that the kid didn't have his pants down over his knees, which is a rule, and he's supposed to do it. I mean, I don't know who said something, but
it looks like somebody said something.
Or one person said it twice.
I would hope that the player who got flagged the first time would not say anything, and that was Cinecor, who was coming off the field. We don't know if he's the one that said anything or not.
Oh, wait, they're giving him a moving the chains. They shouldn't move the chains because the ball was already set. They're going to make it 1st and 10.
Now that would be a break for Lakewood Ranch.
That's a huge break for.
It's just a field position issue here now, but it really should be a first down and at least.
Ball's out.
Ball's on
Palmetto
the ground.
has it.
And Palmetto says they got it.
Dino. Diston.
We'll go with Dino. So number
recovered the fumble.
Chikatev.
Big 23 knocked it out. Thomas Johnson.
And so again, another big play in this ball game. The Palmetto defense again coming up big, forcing this turnover.
Sometimes. Here we go. You can see the replay here. It's Everhart. Looks like 10.
That's
oh, no. 23 comes in, puts his helmet right on the ball, and knocks it out.
And Jacoby Morrell
Dino
getting that
jumps
first
on the ball,
contact.
recovers it. Jacoby Morrell making the tackle. Jefferson comes in, pops the ball out with putting his helmet right on the ball, and Palmetto's got the ball back.
And now the Tigers from the 26-yard line. Marshall at the carry off to the left side. Great penetration that time. Marshall still on his feet, and Marshall circles all the way back to the right side. He's got a couple of blockers out there. And, Kyrie Marshall with a vicious hit on the sideline. No flag coming out on that. Right on the Palmetto side of the bench there. And all that running, and I'm not sure if Kyrie Marshall got a single yard.
No, he lost 3 or 4 yards.
He lost, it looks like about 3. They're going to mark him out just around the 30-yard line.
He ran about 90. But he lost 4.
And he took a big hit, and it's hard to tell whether that was all the way out of bounds or not from our vantage point with all those bodies crowded on the sideline.
I didn't see any reaction from the Palmetto sideline.
Neither did I.
So I'm assuming it was a legal hit, and you would have seen some sort of reaction from the Palmetto players and coaching staff.
Second down, 12. Edwards with the carry this time off the left side. He'll get minimal yards. Get it back just about to the line, the original line of scrimmage, where it's going to be 3rd down and 10 now for the Tiger offense. 3:43 and counting in the first half.
Lakewood Ranch defense really stepping up on those 2 plays.
And that's 2 drives in a row after a turnover. The other one on the opening, on that kickoff, that the Lakewood Ranch defense is stiffened, but they've got another 10 yards to go right here in front of them on 3rd down. And again, if Palmetto gets anything here, they might indeed go for it on 4th. Smith with the receiver
Nice
off the
catch.
sideline. Nice throw, nice catch. Callaway with a first down for the Tigers.
Beautiful route, beautiful throw, well timed. Ball was thrown perfect. The receiver did a great job.
And Xander Smith, we talked about him earlier in the year when the offense ran through his arm. He wasn't all that accurate, but now that they've got that running attack behind him, taking a little bit of pressure off Xander Smith, he's made some clutch throws, some really nice throws tonight.
Yeah, the last 2 games they've run the ball a little more effectively. His passer rating has skyrocketed. The average yards per attempt has gone up, and which to me is the most important stat in the passing game.
From the 15, Edwards slams into the middle of that field and drives the pile forward down to the 10-yard line. Hard running by Nasir Edwards on 1st down. And it looked like maybe
that might have been Stansel.
Nate Smith, I thought, was in there on the defensive stop. Hard to tell. Marshall again in the backfield. Callaway to the bottom of your screen, Lodge at the top of your screen. Williams at the H. And again, it's Smith. Smith got a receiver wide open, and it's Callaway. Callaway down inside the 2-yard line to the 1-yard line. And that's going to bring up a first down and goal for Palmetto.
Callaway and Smith just hooking up here, getting their timing going here, running little out routes and a little hitch there.
Little pitch and catch.
He's a big, strong wide receiver. Could almost be a tight end. He just bodies him up. Kind of the way that the Lakewood Ranch receivers, similar to that. Callaway is probably a little faster, but.
And that clock running now with a $1:40 to go in the opening half. And this time it's going to be Kyrie Marshall, and he just easily walks into the end zone for another Palmetto touchdown.
And when it was on the line, they were just running behind the right side of that offensive line. 3 plays on that drive, running right. You got good block in there.
And so with 1:27 to go in the opening half, your score, the Palmetto Tigers 30 with the extra point pending, and the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs 17.
It's Marcus Smith, Teddy Powell, and DeAndre Berry, the center, running right side there. 3 plays on that drive.
And here comes another extra point attempt by Brandon Gonzalez. Smith with the hold. And it's up and good.
Lakewood Ranch is kind of imploding there at the end of the half.
Turnovers, just absolutely.
And then the penalties.
And the penalties, you're right.
30 yards in penalties and turnovers. Blown coverages, nobody within 30 yards of the receivers.
And
it all snowballed.
And to the Tigers' credit, they've taken advantage of that, put points on the board.
Now Lakewood Ranch has to regroup and say we got to eliminate those mistakes.
And it's still, a 14-point ball game.
And they have 1 minute and 27 seconds. They've got time. If Munoz gets another one of those good kick returns, gets the ball out to the 35, gives them decent field position.
And we talked about those receivers that Lakewood Ranch has. They're not just big, they're productive as well. 4 of those receivers with double-digit catches coming into this ball game, each and every one of them capable of getting open. So,
yeah, he spreads it around. He throws to all the receivers and to the backs equally well. Throws a lot of screens to Everhart. So.
Yeah, the kick from Gonzalez. It's a low driving kick into the end zone. And if Lakewood Ranch is going to get any points on the board, they're going to start from their 20, and they got 80 yards to go. And again, 1:27 left to go in the half. Lakewood Ranch did burn a couple of timeouts earlier, or at least one timeout earlier, so they don't have their full complement.
No, but on offense, you can stop the ball, stop the clock. So you have ways to do that.
Temporarily.
Yeah, you can run out of bounds, you can get a first down. You can spike it on a first down if you had to. Gives you a lot of options.
And D's. They're just going to hand that ball off to Everhart, see what they can get on first down, test the water, and there's not much there. Short pickup of maybe a couple. And it looks like Lakewood Ranch is going to be content to run this out. Maybe if they would have struck a big play right there, they might have tried to get that ball downfield, but you got to think that they're content with running out the half here.
Yeah, maybe one safe play here and see if they pop it in a screen or something like that, or draw. See if they pop it and get out by the midfield. If they get out somewhere by the 50, maybe they want to go ahead and try it. But.
Well, D's out of the shotgun now. Eden's in motion, turned upfield a little early. And D's scrambles again, and Clayton D's with those deadly legs, and D's with a big run off to the right side, and he'll go out of bounds at the 45. You talked about near midfield. He's near midfield, 45-yard line, 43 ticks to go.
42 there. You figure they have to get probably to the 20 to reasonably be in field goal position. So that's 37 more yards.
With 43 ticks on the clock.
43 seconds and 2 timeouts. So.
It's doable.
No, it's definitely doable. They got a sideline and 2 timeouts. Now I think you'll see them be a little more aggressive in their play calling since they're out here by midfield.
And the formation would indicate that. Trips to the top, and that's the direction Dees is looking. A ball in the air, dangerous bounce, but it falls harmlessly to the ground. Second down, 38 seconds to go in the half.
Tried to hit 11 on the shallow there, and linebacker jumped it. It was a good play. Had it well defended. It was Isaac Ashley coming across on the shallow.
He's run a lot of those crossers tonight.
Yeah, that's where he does his work, middle of the field.
Second down, 10 yards to go. 38 seconds in the half. And Dees fires that ball out to Edens. One man to beat on the perimeter. Edens can't get out of bounds.
He's trying to get to the sideline. You could see it. He's trying to get to the sideline. He couldn't get there. They got to use a timeout here.
And they stopped that clock with 33 seconds left. I don't know what. I don't see a timeout call, but.
It's running.
And the clock continues to roll now. They did restart that clock. For some reason, it did stop, but Lakewood Ranch not calling a timeout here, and that clock is just ticking away. Taking a long time.
I assume they're not going to run a play.
They don't look too interested in getting a playoff here.
They're going to take it into halftime there. I don't understand.
I don't, you get that ball out to the 42-yard line, and here we go snapping that ball maybe with 2 seconds left, and they're going to hand it off to Everhart. And Everhart will run it out of bounds, and that's going to do it for the first half from Harley Stadium at Palmetto High School. Your halftime score is the Palmetto Tigers 31 and the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs 17 in a critical 4S District 13 matchup. And we're going to hand this thing off to the halftime entertainment from both bands for Lakewood Ranch and Palmetto. And we'll be back for the second half after these messages and your halftime entertainment.
I'd encourage anyone who is looking for a career change to definitely start at MTC. It's definitely made a huge difference.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2022 Palmetto High School Homecoming. At this time, I would like to introduce you to the members of the class of 2023 representing this year's homecoming court. Representing girls weightlifting is Kinsey Bunce. Kinsey is being escorted by her parents, Steve and Tony Bunce. After graduation, Kinsey plans to attend the University of Tampa to study nursing. Representing the ping pong club, yes, that is actually a thing, is Braden Connors. Braden is being escorted by none other than everyone's pal and class of 2023 classmate Richard Warfield. Braden plans to attend the University of Central Florida and major in psychology. Representing volleyball is Nikki Canella. Nikki is being escorted by her parents, Michael and Angeline Canella, and her sisters, Natalie and Tony. Nikki is an ACE diploma recipient, and after graduation, she plans to attend the University of South Florida to study business. Representing the marching band is Tony Gendro. Tony is being escorted by his dad, Leslie Gendro. Tony is an ACE diploma recipient and hopes to attend Embry-Riddle University to study mechanical engineering. Representing the Student Government Association is Carrie Joseph. Carrie is being escorted by her mom, Shereen Thomas, and her brother Ross. In addition to her participation in student government, Carrie is a member of the girls' weightlifting and track and field teams. After graduation, Carrie plans to attend Florida A&M University, where she plans to study political science and hopes of one day becoming a lawyer practicing family law. Representing JROTC is Alex Peralta. Alex is being escorted by his parents, Danilo and Martha Peralta. In JROTC, Alex is a member of the Color Guard and placed first in the state for dual drill exhibition. After graduation, Alex plans to enlist in the U.S. Marine Corps. Alex hopes to one day serve on security detail for a U.S. embassy overseas. Representing the yearbook is Trang Nguyen. Trang is being escorted by her parents, Helen and Tony Nguyen. Trang is an ACE diploma recipient and is a member of the Key Club and Student Government Association. Trang hopes to attend the University of Central Florida and major in business administration. Representing boys soccer is Chandler Papel. Chandler is being escorted by his dad, Tom Papel. Chandler is an ACE diploma recipient and is a member of the Student Government Association, Key Club, and National Honor Society. If he decides not to continue playing soccer in college, Chandler plans to attend the University of Florida, where he will major in exercise science. Representing HOSA is Jalen Osborne. Jalen is being escorted by her parents, Jason and Melissa Osborne. Jalen is an ACE diploma recipient, has been a cheerleader both at PHS and on a competitive team. Jalen plans to attend the University of Central Florida to study sports medicine and then attend the Palmer School to become a chiropractor. Representing boys weightlifting is Teddy Powell. Teddy is being escorted by his mother and stepfather, Lexi and Josh Whaley. Teddy is a 4-year member of the Palmetto football program and is an ACE diploma recipient. Teddy plans to attend the University of South Florida to study sports medicine. He hopes to one day become a physician's assistant. Also representing JROTC is Madison Scott Vold. Madison is being escorted by her mother, Kristen O'Donnell, and her sisters, Olivia and Morgan. After graduation, Madison plans to attend South Dakota State University to study nursing. Representing Future Business Leaders of America is Elijah Roberson. Elijah is being escorted by his mother, Leslie Roberson. In addition to being an active member of FBLA, Elijah is a member of our Student Government Association, JROTC, and serves as a Palmetto High School ambassador. After graduation, Elijah plans to attend either Florida State University or Florida A&M University, where he will study business management. Representing cheerleading is Tamaya Washington. Tamaya is being escorted by her mother, Lauren Watson. In addition to cheerleading, Tamaya is also a member of the National Honor Society. Tamaya plans to attend Florida A&M University to become a pediatric nurse. Helping with crowning this evening is senior class board members Andre Echeverry and Taylor Jeffries. I would now like to introduce our winners. In a very close race, your 2022 homecoming prince is Braden Connors. And in another very close vote, please congratulate our princess, Carrie Joseph. you've all been waiting for. Your 2022 homecoming king is Elijah Roberson. And now, what we're all really dying to know, please give it up for your 2022 homecoming queen, Tamaya Washington.
We're back at Harley Stadium on the campus of Palmetto High School. Your halftime score, 31-17 in favor of the Tigers, and it was a heck of a first half, Coach. Back and forth, 4 different lead changes in that first half, and it winds up being the Tigers on top after several miscues by the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs late in that second quarter.
Yeah, it was back and forth, big plays by both teams. At times, both offenses looked real good, and at times, both offenses shot themselves in the foot and turned the ball over, and some, unforced errors. Statistically, Kyrie Marshall for the Palmetto Tigers, 8 carries for 72 yards with 2 touchdowns, and we expected that. But he also had the big fumble, and I'm sure he wants to correct that and work on that. Xander Smith has completed 7 passes for 160 yards and 1 touchdown, and you got Zamarian Lang with 77 yards receiving, Rockland Lodge with two catches for 60 yards. And over on the Lakewood Ranch side, Clayton Deese has got 12 for 18 for 168 yards and 42 yards rushing. So he's accounted for over 200 yards, 210 yards already. And Isaac Ashley leading receiver yards-wise with 93 yards in that drive, all in one drive on 3 catches. So a lot of big plays, like we said, then, a couple of big blunders, but that's high school football, and the emotions are running high, and both teams are flying around, and that kind of stuff's going to happen.
Yeah, you take away those turnovers, you take away some of those penalties, and it was a well-played game. You don't want to say that it was mistake-free, obviously, because there was a number of those, especially late in the second quarter. But a first half of big plays, a first half of momentum swings, and a first half of lead changes, and you would want nothing less than that in a critical district matchup. So it's been a very exciting first half, and we hope to see more of that here in the second half, as we still got about another minute to go before kickoff.
Yeah, you got to wonder, Lakewood Ranch at some point, I think, has got to try to maybe some trick plays, a little deception or something. They haven't done any of that. The first couple of drives, they're able to move the ball effectively with their short passing game. Since then, it's kind of been thwarted a bit. Knowing how if they lose this game, they're out of the playoff race, I would think that the play calling probably gets a little more aggressive in the second half. On the Palmetto side, offensively, I think they want to just keep doing what they're doing. Pounding the ball in there with Kyrie Marshall, softening the defense up, then hitting the short throws under control. They have a 14-point lead, run the clock. Playing their second game of the week, they just want to get out of here with a win, a homecoming win, and set up that big game for the championship of the district with Manatee in a couple of weeks.
And that will be October 28th. And again, we talked about it earlier. This game is a must-win for Lakewood Ranch, already being down one game, 0-1. In that District 13, in that district with Palmetto and Manatee. And if they lose tonight's game, they'll be 0-2. And it's only Manatee playing Palmetto left, and that's going to be for first place.
And we got to thank our statisticians, Eric, Leo, and Charlie Gill, just outside the press box here, keeping the stats for us tonight, helping us out, trying to add another factor to the broadcast.
Every week we grow leaps and bounds with the different aspects that we bring to our viewers on Manatee Schools Television. And again, Adam McCune, our producer, Nick Backelder, out there working their butts off to get this game on the air tonight. And then I can't say enough about the job that Rashia Brown, Cooper Stover, and Will Weaver have done on the cameras tonight. These guys are not just student camera operators. We basically plucked them out of the crowd to get this thing done tonight so we could get on the air. I mean, they're doing a fantastic job. So Rashia is a part of that TV and production classroom here at the school. But Cooper and Will getting their first crack at ever operating a camera. And, again, great job out there to get that done for us.
So Palmetto will get the ball here to start the second half. After Lakewood Ranch decided to take the ball in the first half. A lot of teams will defer the first half and want to take that ball to start the second half. So this works out good for Palmetto. Get up 2 scores, you get the ball first, they can drive down, get another score here. A legendary wide receivers coach at Manatee used to yell in my ears over and over again on the sideline when he was on top of the press box that we got to get up by 3 scores. That's Chuck Sandberg's favorite thing to say during a game. And he said it many, many times.
And you always want to defer if you can, based on the opponent you're playing and the strength of your own team. But that opportunity for back-to-back possessions is just too good to pass up oftentimes.
Yeah.
And Lakewood Ranch did have that ball last, but it was really not much of a possession to speak of. It looked like they were going to get maybe something going once they got that ball out to the 42-yard line, but they kind of squatted on it after there. So Palmetto really had the last meaningful possession of that first half, and they're going to get the opening possession here in the second half, up 14 points.
That was surprising to me. After the big scramble, like we said, out near midfield, I thought sure they had about 29 seconds when that play ended. I thought they would kill the clock on first down there, or maybe run a play on second or third, try to get down in field goal range. I guess Coach West just didn't think it was worth the risk in that situation of dropping back to pass a few more times, and just wanted to get into halftime and reorganize.
And that's where we're at. And here we go with Aaron Clark's kickoff, and it's going to travel short of the end zone, and this is going to be returned by Lodge. And Lodge with a little bit of running room up the middle, and Rock Lodge, one man to beat. He's got the kicker, Clark, to go, and Clark gets him out of bounds.
That's a great job by the kicker. When you're out there on an island with one of the other team's better athletes, that's a scary feeling. And he just kept his angle and ran him out of bounds. It was a really good job. Great blocking. I don't know if he was touched by anybody from Lakewood Ranch until the kicker forced him out of bounds. It was a well set up kick return, and he hit the seam just right. Did a good job returning it, setting it up with his angle.
And the Tigers with a 14-point lead get this first possession of the second half now at the Lakewood Ranch Mustang 40-yard line. So outstanding field position for the Tigers to try to extend that 14-point lead.
Three touchdowns is a lot to overcome in high school, so that's why it's such an important factor to get up by that third score when you have a two-score lead.
And Marshall with the opening handoff. Drives forward. Kyrie Marshall comes out of the wash, and he's going to pick up about 11 yards and still driving.
Going.
Still driving.
Still going.
That looked like a rugby scrum out there. We got a flag down on the field, though, too. Let's check this flag. Hard to tell what that could be in the pile of that humanity that was out there. But it was thrown right at the scrum.
Yeah, it was way downfield. I don't know. It was in the pile. I don't know, maybe a hand get on the face mask.
And the officials talking it over. Here comes the white hat to let us know what happened.
Sideline warning.
Now that's
no, aiding the runner. Well, you're allowed to push him. You just can't pull him. That's legal now.
So somebody must have been pulling him from the front. But
they signaled aiding the runner.
Now that's
not a call I'm a big fan of.
No.
Not just in this particular case. I just never liked that call. The guys,
you got about 15 pairs of legs out there moving and driving that pile. You going to tell me somebody pulled on him?
Yeah, there was a lot of pulling and pushing going on. I don't know how you can single somebody out.
From the 35-yard line now.
Still
going to be a
game.
First down, though. It looks like they're going to be able to replay that down. Spot foul. 5 yards to go. Smith. And Smith has got his receiver, Williams, and Williams off to the races on the right side, and he'll be dragged down inside the 15-yard line or inside the 20. Check that.
Jamil Williams at fullback slipping out in the flat here on the bootleg. And Jamil, younger brother of Sean Williams, played at Southeast and Manatee, played a senior year at Manatee. Shawnee Pooh.
And Williams is just an outstanding hybrid linebacker safety as well on defense. 15 tackles for a loss, 2.5 sacks, and 2 interceptions to go with his fullback duties.
Yeah, and the running game has improved immensely since Williams went over to fullback. They got that extra blocker in there.
And Marshall on the carry this time, minimal pickup down to about the 16-yard line, maybe 2 yards on the carry, almost 3.
This Palmetto offense has a different identity, I think, than the one we saw earlier in the year, where they're going to come out with Kyrie Marshall angrily running at you, and they're going to hit you in the mouth.
And again, we talked about the pressure that takes off of Smith from the quarterback spot.
And you get throws like that last play where there's wide open and guys slip away. And
he's a different quarterback than the last time we saw him play. Much more accurate.
It got a tight bunch here to the left last time they ran this. They ran outside zone this way and got to the corner. They faked it and they're running boot back the other way.
And Smith fires towards the end zone. He's got it. Whoa, and that's a dangerous pass off the hands of a Lakewood Ranch defender.
Looked like Callaway fell down. Looked like the receiver slipped, and then the defender behind him almost picked it off. He would have been better off just throwing that one away.
And that's going to bring up 3rd down now for the Tigers in a long 7 to go. And that looked like Kelvin Johnson, who almost had that interception for the Mustangs.
Again, you don't have to throw the ball into the end zone here. You don't even have to throw it past the sticks. You can throw a hitch, let one of your good athletes.
You got 3 receivers split now to the bottom of the screen. Single receiver to the boundary. And Marshall in the backfield. Smith fakes the handoff. And Smith has got Lodge, and Lodge lets that ball go right through his hands. Hard to tell whether he would have picked up that 1st down or not, but as it is, it's going to be 4th down for the Tigers.
They get the field goal here, still a 3-score game, so get it to 17. 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points can't catch you. 2 two-point conversions, so this is big here. Like I said, in high school football, getting up by 3 scores is a lot different than college or NFL.
And Evan Bullock on the defense that time for Lakewood Ranch. Brandon Gonzalez on to attempt this field goal. And it probably looks like about a 33-34. Smith calls for it, gets it down, and Gonzalez boots it through.
I mentioned earlier he's a weapon. You know, he's not just a good kicker now, he's an actual weapon.
I was talking with his mama at halftime. They're out there with his grandparents as well watching this game. And now your score extended for the Palmetto Tigers to a 17-point lead, 34-17, 9:51 to go in the 3rd frame. And Palmetto extending that lead. A nice opening drive. It looked like they might be able to punch that thing in. The Lakewood Ranch defense did stiffen a little bit to hold the minimum, the damage to a minimum, 3 points. But nonetheless, 17-point lead, and now you're touching the ball for the first time in the second half. If you're Lakewood Ranch, they need to score.
Yeah, that's the second time Lakewood Ranch has given up a play on special teams, and the defense has come out and held them to a field goal. They had the fumble earlier on the kickoff return where they got the ball at the 30 and they held them to a field goal. So that's a victory for their defense when you can hold them to 3 when they start on your side of the 50.
They're going to need some victories on offense here if they're going to get back in this game. Gonzalez drills that ball, low line, driver into the end zone, and Lakewood Ranch is going to begin once again from their own 20-yard line. And if there's one thing you can say about that Lakewood Ranch offense tonight, with those receivers, with Clayton Dees, not just with his arms but his legs, they've got the horses to be able to get back into this game. They've just got to avoid the mistakes, the penalties, the turnovers. And if they can do that, we'd expect they might be able to move the football in this Tiger defense at least a little.
Yeah, you got to be careful not to just give up on the run game, though. A lot of teams will get down, they'll give up on it too early. Like I say, you start throwing every down, bad things can happen. Interceptions, tip balls, quarterbacks, fumbles, getting hit in the backfield, sacks.
Well, Everhart's not been a big part of that Lakewood Ranch offense, and it's empty set right now with Everhart in motion. Dees calls for it. Dees looking left. Dees got a receiver. And Dees with Chase Edens on the reception that time, and he goes down. That ball did come out, but Edens out to near midfield to maybe the 40. He's going to be at midfield is where they're going to mark him. So a big play on first down.
Motion to quads there. They hit the number 2 receiver on a little hitch route. And he just splits the seam.
And from the 50-yard line, first down and 10. Everhart off the left side. And he'll pick up a few yards, maybe a pickup of 4 yards that time for the Mustang offense before he's brought down by the Tigers. Looked like maybe Derek Foster on the tackle that time for Palmetto. Jamil Williams out there as well. Everhart again, testing the middle of that defense, and Everhart with a hard run out to the left side, close to the line of scrimmage, or excuse me, close to the line to gain for a first down. It looks like he's going to be run out of bounds just shy.
3rd and 1. Maybe 2. Long
We're
one.
going to mark that thing a couple yards short. There you go. Third down and a long 2.
Well, Lakewood Ranch going to the running game a little more in this start the second half. It's obviously something they talked about at halftime that they need to get back to.
And you got to believe this is 4-down territory for Lakewood Ranch, down 17 points in a 3rd and 2 situation. Let's see what they get here.
And Everhart is out. Cullen McCray is in. Cullen McCray Jr.
3 receivers to the bottom. D's going to throw this ball on 3rd and 2, and it's McCray, and McCray falls down after being wide open. But that's going to be good enough for a Lakewood Ranch first down at the 35.
Back, run a wheel route out of the backfield. Number 1 receiver up there runs a slant, and he just runs a wheel route.
And back in comes Everhart.
If he doesn't
McCray
fall
back
down,
in.
it might have been
A big gainer at
a
least.
big gainer. But I'm sure Lakewood Ranch take the catch into first down. Colin McCray from the baseball McCray family. Hal's his grandfather. Brian is his uncle.
Get a bunch out to the boundary right now. Single receiver to the field side. And that's Cinecor, but motion man is Everhart. And boom! Out in the flats, and that ball comes out. He might be down by contact. Let's see what the referee says.
He's ruling a fumble, and he's marking it back there.
And that ball was out, recovered by Everhart, and he did lose yards on that play now. Back across the 40-yard line to the 42.
It looked like he was bobbling it as he went down, maybe, and from what we could see. Didn't come all the way out till he hit the ground, but he may not have had control on his way down.
Well, there's no replay in high school football, so it stands back at the 42-yard line.
It looked like Everhart wasn't expecting that ball.
It didn't. It came to him late. He got his head around late.
And maybe because he saw that DB come up, he didn't think he would throw it to him.
Second down and 18.
Kind of hung him out to dry on that one.
D's out of the empty set.
A
D's
little
going to roll left.
shallow
Under
concept.
pressure. Jacoby Morell in there forcing the throw, and it's off the mark.
And that's Dino in there pressuring him too. Linebacker scraping out on when he broke contain. He tried a little rub, a little shallow, double shallow there, like a little rub route. They couldn't get anybody to pop open. He had to break out of there.
And this is a big play. Again, we talked about you don't need to get all the yardage for a first down necessarily here on 3rd down, but can you set yourself up for a 4th down and manageable? And we've got 5 receivers split out for the Mustang offense. Pressure by the defense, and Dees has got a hole. Clayton Dees slides after getting a little bit of that yardage needed back. Not close to a first down, but again, we've got ourselves maybe a 4th down and manageable situation from the 34-yard line.
I think he's got some generous spots on the slides because they should
got to be where you start
where
the
you
slide.
start the slide. Yeah, I would have had him back a little more by the line, but I guess only half a yard. But
Well, it's going to be 4th down and 9. They spot that ball at the 34-yard line. And indeed, Lakewood Ranch is going to go for this, down 17 points, 7:29 to go in the ball in the 3rd quarter. And he'll operate once again out of an empty backfield. Dees looking downfield, steps up into the pocket and fires incomplete. Intended for
looked like the
Cinecor.
Palmetto safety just walled off. Isaac Ashley couldn't get in. I think the quarterback was expecting him to break in. And
Or that was Ashley.
I think the DB had him walled off and he couldn't get in. I think he was trying to hit the deep, like a deep dig.
And Palmetto's going to take over 1st down and 10 at their own 34-yard line. Again, 7:19 now to go in the 3rd quarter.
It's a big stop for Palmetto. If they can get points here, that could pretty much be a dagger in the back of Lakewood Ranch.
Let's see how they approach this on offense. Conservative running the football, chewing up clock.
And Palmetto's going empty.
Or do they go empty and not throw?
Well, they are empty.
They had Marshall, or excuse me,
A timeout or a sideline warning. They already had one warning. It's going to be a penalty next time.
there's give them a well, that sideline warning before was the
Oh, that was
pull.
aiding. That's right.
Yeah.
That was aiding the rusher. Now they have a sideline warning.
And you got 4 receivers in the game, or 5 receivers, including that H-back. Marshall lined up as it just split off the end of the line of scrimmage, and they're going to get on the end around to Moise. And Adonis Moise hits that edge. Adonis Moise steps out of bounds. Just past that 40-yard line. It looked like he had a big chunk of green in front of him, but he steps just out of bounds.
Got about 6 yards there.
And that's going to bring up 2nd down and 4 for the Tiger offense.
He is a guy you got to get the ball. I can understand why they run jet sweep to him. He's a guy you want to see get the ball probably 7 times a game in his hands. He's a playmaker.
And Moise on the year has got 120 yards on the ground plus a touchdown. Out of the shotgun, Smith, high snap over his head. Better fall on that ball. That might be the break Lakewood Ranch was looking for.
Ranch got it.
And Lakewood Ranch is going to come up with that football. Wow. Again, unforced errors. And at a critical juncture in this ball game, 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Whoa.
And Palmetto looking to put the dagger in the heart of the Mustangs, and they give it up.
That ball was one of the highest snaps I've ever seen.
Straight up in the air.
Straight up in the air. Came down, bounced away from Xander Smith. He dove for it.
It looked like Smith had a chance to dive on that ball. Not sure if it was still rolling around down there and just got out of his grasp.
It was still rolling around, and the Lakewood Ranch defender dove in at the same time as him and came up with the ball. That could be a huge play for Lakewood Ranch to get them back in this game.
Let's see if they can turn this into points.
Yeah, and I think they need to turn it into 7. I don't think you can settle for 3 here.
I agree with that, Coach, especially with time ticking away in this ball game. Down 17. 2 backs in the backfield with D's. Eden's in motion, and he's going to throw that ball incomplete, picked off, and that ball's going to be intercepted, give it right back to Palmetto. And there's your answer, Coach.
Thomas Johnson.
Thomas Johnson with the interception for that Palmetto defense, and they get that ball right back to thwart that Lakewood Ranch score.
I think he's trying to force it into Ashley, and looked like it went off his hand straight up in the air. And there's Thomas Johnson with his first interception of the year.
Off the deflected pass. And Palmetto's going to take over now, 1st down and 10, right at the 20-yard line.
That's a tough, sudden change for the Lakewood Ranch defense to deal with when you just got the turnover, and then you go to the sideline and you're just grabbing your Gatorade and you hear everybody yelling, you got to go back out on the field. So let's see if they can answer the bell here. This will say a lot about the character of their defense if they can hold Palmetto here.
Oh, ball's out again. That ball comes right back out, and Lakewood Ranch has jumped on it again, back-to-back turnovers in this ball game.
51 for Lakewood Ranch with the recovery. Marshall just trying to fight for extra yardage, and 22 strips it out.
And that's Evan Bolick again, who just made a defensive play a couple of series ago.
Dylan Letaw stripped it out.
And that ball just came flying right back out, bounced right to the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs, and really 3 turnovers in the last minute of this ball game, Coach.
All security.
Let's see if anybody actually wants to win this thing. 6:53 to go in the 3rd quarter now. Lakewood Ranch setting up shop at the Palmetto 37-yard line, or 32-yard line, excuse me.
Well, Lakewood Ranch defense answered the bell. Now let's see if Palmetto can do it. They get the same situation. They got the turnover. They thought they were going to get a break. They get to the sideline, grab their Gatorade. All of a sudden, they got to run back out on the field and play defense.
Same thing. You talked about the heart and character of that Mustang defense. Let's see what Palmetto's got.
Timeout, Lakewood Ranch. There was a lot of confusion out there. I don't think Ashley knew he was supposed to go in motion. The quarterback was trying to get him to come.
And you mentioned earlier that you can stop that clock, obviously, on offense, but when you're down 17 points with just over 18 minutes to play in this game,
you don't want to use a timeout.
You don't want to be using a timeout. But Lakewood Ranch with a gift here, and they've got to turn this thing into points if they've got any designs on staying in this ball game.
Yes, definitely. Right now it's a 17-point game. They can cut it to 10.
And most fans listening and tuning in tonight, they understand the stakes in this ball game. Class 4S District 13 matchup, the first of the year for Palmetto, the second one for Lakewood Ranch, who's already 0-1 in the district, and they face a must-win tonight, down 17. Ashley in motion. Dees, high snap, throws it out to Ashley, who's uncovered. Gets a block downfield, and Ashley's going to go down with a hard tackle after a pickup of about 7 yards. Take another look at this.
Yeah, they're bringing them in motion, and Ponto's defense does not react. There's no reaction, so they got them outnumbered out there. It's a design block. The receivers are blocking. It's a design flare.
Looked like Kyrie Marshall on defense that time who brought him down.
When he goes in motion, nobody moves. They know they're in zone. They got enough blockers out there with the 2 receivers they have out there, so they can just throw the flare out and get a nice 7-yard gain. Well-designed play, well executed.
Closer to 6, 2nd down and 4. Everhart slams into the pile right in the middle, and he's going to be driven back after a pickup of maybe a yard.
Looked like Dino in there again.
Spot that ball at the 25-yard line. And that's going to be 3rd down and 3. Everhart in the backfield next to Dees. And Dees is going to throw this ball on 3rd and 3, and he's got a receiver and throws it short, hops it out to
Cinecor. He's trying to throw it to Cinecor, and I think 36 for Palmetto got a hand on it.
That was Jamil Williams.
Anthony George Jr., 36, I think. Might
36.
On the pressure. We've got a water break here at our 6-minute mandatory water break.
Sounds like a good idea.
You know, you hate to say in the middle of the 3rd quarter a play could determine the game, but right now you're looking at 4th and 3 or 4th and 4. This could be a determining factor in the game right here if Lakewood Ranch can't get this 1st down.
We said that a couple of minutes ago, and that was before the turnover.
The 2 turnovers.
The volley of turnovers that happened out there.
That was 4 turnovers ago.
So a lot can happen in these final moments here of the 3rd quarter, but time is ticking away, and you've got to get points. Now, you are down 17 points. You know, so you talk about 3 scores. A field goal's not out of the question. You want to get that touchdown if you're Lakewood Ranch, get that momentum back, give yourself a puncher's chance here.
Well, they're going for it.
But you need points.
So they're not thinking field goal here, that's for sure.
A little long.
Yeah, it'd be about a 42-yarder. A little outside his range. Then Lakewood Ranch goes out and waits to see what defense Palmetto's in so they can make the call.
4th down from the 25-yard line, 4th and 3. Dees drops back, and Dees under pressure. Dees fires that ball off incomplete. And the Palmetto defense rises up once again, and they'll take over on offense. 1st down and 10 from the 25-yard line with 5:28 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Dees is throwing. Looks like he expected the receiver to stop. The receiver ran a fade. He was trying to get to Connor Anthony out there. Almost intercepted, which would not have been a good play. It's better that it was not intercepted on 4th down. You want to knock it down, get the ball back at the line of scrimmage instead of inside the 10 where you intercepted it.
Well, I thought for sure, you know, we'd see Clayton Dees using his legs once again in that critical down and distance situation. I mean, you got to like his accuracy with the throws. You got to like his receiver's ability downfield to catch that ball. But Clayton Dees running the football is
the biggest weapon. Is the biggest weapon they have. Yes, I agree.
1st down and 10 for Palmetto from the 25. And that looks like
21.
Edwards, excuse me.
He lost 1 on the play. So Palmetto coming out trying to establish the run.
And that's Devon Thomas, who Marshall replaced as the primary tailback a couple of weeks ago. He was the starter at the beginning of the season.
Palmetto takes a tight end out, goes a 4 wide here on 2nd and 11.
Again, with Thomas in the backfield, and it's going to be Thomas on the carry. Thomas trying the left side. Outstanding defense that time by Lakewood Ranch. And that was Levi Freed staying home and making a big play in the backfield when that defense needed it. Loss of 4 yards on the play, 3rd down and 14 coming up for Palmetto.
That's the second time he's made a big play, staying at home. He's the overhang out there, low safety or outside linebacker, and Louise was trying to get the block on him, but couldn't do it. Now you got 3rd and long. Palmetto can't get too greedy here. They have a three-score lead. They got to run something safe.
And they're going to throw it. Smith back to pass. Bounces off the helmet and falls incomplete. That could have been dangerous. That's an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
You still don't like seeing that ball bouncing around on the grass out there.
I think they hit DeAndre Berry, the center, right in the helmet, which even if Palmetto catches it, it would have been called back for illegal touching. Yeah, it hit 77, DeAndre Berry right in the helmet on the screen. You can't have your back in front of the lineman on the screen. They got to be behind the lineman.
And that's going to bring up 4th down. And Jaden Munoz is going to be back once again for the Ranch, standing inside his own 40-yard line. Brandon Gonzalez on to punt it away for the Tigers. And he stands just outside, or just inside his own 10 at the 9.
We've seen Munoz with some good kickoff returns. We'll see if he can get something started here to ignite Lakewood Ranch with a punt return here.
No pressure on Gonzalez, and he booms one high. Going to be short, and it takes another backwards bounce, a Lakewood Ranch bounce this time, and it's going to wind up at about the 47-yard line. So Lakewood Ranch, 3:51 to go in the 3rd quarter, down 17, and they get another chance with outstanding field position, Coach.
We just got an update on the stats, Skip, for the 3rd quarter. There are no stats. It's just turnovers.
Each team turning it over a couple of times in that 3rd quarter. We're still inside that 3rd frame, 3:51 to go. It's almost like each team is trying to give this ball game away.
Neither offense has been able to do anything in the second half, really.
But despite the outstanding field position for Lakewood Ranch, which has taken over in Palmetto territory and now at their own 47-yard line. So they've got to convert these.
Yeah, they've got nothing to show for it so far.
And Everhart, there goes Dees taking off on his feet, and he's going to pick up about 13 yards, it looks like, across midfield and inside the 40-yard line of the Tigers, and that's going to be good enough for a Mustang 1st down.
It's a delicate balance between he's so important to them that they can't have him take 30 hits a game, but yet he's so important to them they need him as running the ball in their offense. So
they're going to mark that thing outside the 42-yard line.
It's tough for Coach West to have him run as much as he could because he knows you start taking those hits and you're going to lose them, and he's so much of their offense. So.
And Dees looks to throw it downfield that time. Nobody home. Cinecor, it looks like maybe, or Connor Anthony might have been the intended receiver there. Hard to tell.
Yeah, it was either the ball was off target or one of the receivers ran a different route than he was expecting because it was really nowhere near anybody.
Either way you slice it, that's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 after that incomplete pass. But again, just outside the 42-yard line for this Mustang offense. 3:41 to go in the 3rd quarter, down 17 points.
A wide bunch out here. In the past when they've done this, they run zone read, run the ball up the middle. There it is.
And there it is, Everhart.
They're just moving 3 guys out.
And Everhart's still on his feet, got a couple extra yards after that initial contact. And they're going to put him down probably around the 35-yard line with that second effort. 36-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about 4. And this is, again, critical down for Lakewood Ranch. No doubt 2-down territory.
Same formation, wide bunch. See if they have something wrinkle off of it or if they're just going to run it. Now they're going to throw off of it.
And there goes Dees to the air, and he's got his man. And Ashley's on the reception. We got a flag down on the field.
I think Isaac offensive lineman downfield, you got 1, 2, 3 of them about down farther than the receiver. So that's going to be coming back.
And again, we talked about the unforced errors, the critical mistakes, and they continue.
It looked like the center, the guard, and the tackle all downfield to me. There were multiple linemen that looked like they thought they were running zone read on that play. And in the day and age of RPOs, that can happen.
So instead of a 1st down inside the Palmetto 30-yard line, it's going to wind up being 3rd down and 9 back out to the 42-yard line near the original line of scrimmage. And here we go again. You know this is going to be 4-down territory, so You don't have to necessarily pick it all up here,
And
although
they're
Lakewood Ranch would
going
like
empty
to.
again.
Eden's in motion. Dees almost picked off that time. Dangerous throw. Outstanding break on that ball.
Thomas Johnson again.
And Thomas Johnson has been active in the second half. One of the reasons why that Lakewood Ranch offense has got nothing going.
That was a very deliberate delivery, and Johnson jumped it, and that almost turned into a pick six. Almost turned into 6 the other way.
And here we go. You don't want to say the ball game with an entire quarter to go, plus 2:50 here in the third, but 4th down and 9, down 17 points. This is crunch time for the Lakewood Ranch offense.
Bunch again, but it's a little tighter this time.
Everhart flares out. Dees is going to take off. There's the lays we
draw.
talked about last time. And he's going to be brought down. Outstanding job closing that time.
Thomas Johnson.
Thomas Johnson again. And Thomas Johnson single-handedly on defense, shutting down that Lakewood Ranch offense and really not putting quite a nail in that coffin, but making things tough for that Mustang team here on out. And you got to believe that momentum is now firmly entrenched on the Palmetto Tiger offense or the Palmetto Tiger sideline.
With 2:44 left in the third quarter, and Palmetto's going to come back out and try to get the offense in gear.
Edwards in the backfield, fake to Edwards, and that's going to be a pass to Lodge. Looked like a backwards pass, but Lodge moves that ball out across the 40-yard line or almost to the 40-yard line. Let's see where they spot it.
That's
minimum pickup of maybe 3 yards.
That's essentially a long handoff. When you're throwing those bubbles, you're just trying to get the ball in the hands of athletes out in space, see if they can make a guy miss.
And they keep the runner in bounds. Lodge did not get out of bounds, so that clock continues to run with 2:16 and counting in the ball game. 2nd down and 7 to go for the Tiger offense.
Got fullback in now. Evan Stansel in at fullback, sophomore. Jamil Williams gets a little breather.
And a big run that time. That looked like
that might be Jamil.
That was Jamil Williams with the hand, or was that Nasir Edwards? Now it was Williams on the carry that time for the offense, and a first down for Palmetto. A big first down. Maybe the first one of the second half so far for that Palmetto offense.
This is the first time we've seen Jamil Williams at tailback this year.
He's lined up at fullback. He's lined up at H-back.
He played a lot in the spring, I think, at tailback in the spring game. But
and Stansel now into that H-back spot. And again, Williams with the carry. Test the middle. And drives through the pile, into Lakewood Ranch territory down to the 46-yard line. Nice pickup on first down.
Yeah, you got about 6 there. Good movement by the left side and of the Palmetto offensive line. Keon Brown-Smith, the left tackle.
Inside a minute to go.
Jacob Stewart, left guard. Tight end, Kyle Nemzik, and the H-back Stansel was in there on the left side that time, last play.
And Smith is going to throw this ball. And Smith motions his man open. It is Adonis Moise into double coverage that time. And that Lakewood Ranch defense zeroed in on Moise that time, incomplete.
Yeah.
3rd down.
That time Smith held the ball too long. He was trying to direct the receivers around. He's got to get rid of the ball. I think the Palmetto coaches were not happy about that.
Sounded like it. Yes, it is educational TV. 3rd down and 4 to go for the Palmetto Tiger offense.
That's some loud fan right outside the press box. A little obnoxious. Getting a little carried away, cheering for his team. Looks like they're removing him now. That's good.
Yeah, Lakewood Ranch calls her.
Looks like Mr. Bradshaw, the assistant principal, is taking him out. So we shouldn't have any more outbursts like that.
And that's the last. Is that the last time out for Lakewood Ranch?
They have one more.
They have one more?
They have one left.
Yeah, we've got a water break out there on the field. 41 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
Third and four. Third and four, big play here. Now, you don't need to throw it here. You know, you could run the ball twice. You could, I mean, there's a lot of things you could do.
You shouldn't throw it. You'd probably need to run that thing here. I mean,
I'd be throwing it probably the last couple of plays. I mean, running it the last couple of plays.
Exactly. I'd be running that football a little bit, burning clock off of there, and putting Lakewood Ranch in that much tougher of a spot. Nice hole that time. Big time run.
Colton's coming back.
And we got a flag down on the field.
It's Jamil Williams on the run again.
Williams running hard here on this drive. The first time, like you said, we've seen him at tailback, but this one's coming back. At least it looks like it's coming back.
Palmetto has to get back a little bit there on the sideline before they get 15 added onto it.
We got the hold. And that's a big-time penalty. Jamil Williams really would have ran out that third quarter here, first down for Palmetto, but instead it's going to be backed up onto their own side of the field once again, inside the 40-yard line, or excuse me, inside the 45 to the 43.
I'm not so sure I wouldn't run it again. You know, it's not the worst thing in the world if you run out the quarter and then punt to start the fourth quarter if you don't get it. But
a lot of bad stuff can happen when you throw that ball.
Yep.
3rd and 15.
But they're going empty, so I don't think we're going to be seeing a run.
Not unless we got a jet sweep coming in motion here, but it looks to be a pass.
There we go, jet sweep.
And he backs it out. Smith going downfield. He's got a receiver open. Almost an amazing catch downfield by Edwards. But that ball had a little bit of heat on it, and that clock is going to stop with 4 seconds to go in the third quarter. And that's going to bring up a 4th down for Palmetto. So they're going to have to punt this ball back, and Lakewood Ranch is going to have it to begin the fourth quarter down 17 points. At least that's the way it looks.
That was a well-designed play. They looked at the bubble at Adonis Moise and drew the safety up and had a guy open. I'm a little surprised they had 3 running a route who's more of usually a running back and not one of the receivers.
And Jaden Munoz standing back at his 15-yard line, waiting on the punt from Brandon Gonzalez. Nice punt. Munoz stays away from it. That time it takes an outstanding Palmetto bounce inside the 15-yard line down to the 14-yard line, and that's where Lakewood Ranch is going to begin this thing as we get set to enter the fourth quarter. Your score from Harley Stadium at Palmetto High School, it's the Palmetto Tigers 34 and the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs 17, and we'll be right back after this message from Manatee Schools.
So I was kind of like in that mode where you're like, do I want to go to four-year? Do I want to go to trade college? What do I want to do? I knew I wanted to do something with my hands. I kind of stumbled across the program at MTC, Electrical and Instrumentation. When I first went in there, I thought we were just going to be learning wiring, how to hardwire, how to build control panels. We did a whole scope of control programming as well. After graduating, I had a job within a week. If I had not gone to MTC, if I had not attended the Electrical and Instrumentation program, I can tell you right now, I wouldn't be in this trade.
When I drop my kids off and I see that they're on time and they've been delivered safely, it gives me a lot of personal satisfaction to have done this for the community. I would encourage anybody who is like me, retired, to look into this and consider, because it really has worked for me.
Start a great future with the School District of Manatee County. Apply now at Manatee.
Pass is incomplete. Brings up now 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs.
And we get set to begin this fourth quarter. Lakewood Ranch on offense, 1st down and 10. And Everhart with the carry that time, and he's going to get minimal yards. Maybe a pickup of a yard that time by Kevin Everhart on 1st down. Thomas Johnson on the tackle for the Tiger defense that time. 2nd down and 9. Dees out of the gun. Dees with plenty of time. He's looking downfield. He's got a receiver, and it's going to be underthrown. Sinecor was the intended receiver, almost picked off that time.
Yeah, 2 Tigers had a chance to intercept the net. Linebacker underneath Dino, and then the DB undercut it. Both had a shot, and I think that's another example of a quarterback holding the ball a little too long. We just saw Xander Smith do it for Palmetto and throwing the ball a little late, and I think Dees held the ball a little long there.
I couldn't tell if that was 22 Caden Bodden for the
22,
Tiger defense.
8 is Caden Bodden.
Oh.
There was 22 that undercut the play, though.
That would be Dylan. That's the wrong one. Javon Mack Johnson. There we go. Finally got the 22.
Yeah. That's who undercut it. And Dino was close to intercepting it as well underneath the linebacker. Got in a throwing lane.
And now Clark on to punt it away for the Mustangs. 2 return men for the Tigers, and that's going to be Rock Lodge moving towards that ball as it heads out of bounds near midfield. And it will indeed go out of bounds, and that's where the Palmetto offense is going to take over. 11:05 to go in your ball game. 1st down and 10 for Palmetto at midfield.
Yeah, they're going to put it right on the 50. They'll have a half a century.
You'd expect now to see a little bit of a ground game working for this Palmetto Tigers. Burn some clock here.
Yes.
And it's getting awful tough with 11:05 to go in the ball game for Lakewood Ranch, who has not gotten anything in the second half going offensively to get 17 points.
No, I think if I'm Palmetto, I'm going to come out and run the ball three times here if I get a first down or not. I'm going to run.
I think that's the safe call.
Run clock and see what you do. You've been able to run the ball effectively. If your running backs hold on to the ball, they've had some success running the ball. They're in a tight bunch here. Last time, 2 times they've done this, they've run outside zone to the bunch.
You got that tight bunch in there now, and Devon Thomas fake to him, and Smith is going to throw this ball, air it out, and Callaway slips the intended receiver. And again, that's just a dangerous play out there with 11 minutes to go in that ball game, and that clock is going to stop. So not a lot of good things happen when you throw that football, as we were talking about before. Players slip, balls get tipped, batted around, and now we've got 2nd down and 10.
And the clock stops.
And the clock stops. And in this case, that's not what you want. And Thomas again there in a deep set behind Xander Smith. And this time they're going to hand that ball off. And Thomas is going to be wrapped up by about 4 or 5 different Lakewood Ranch defenders after a pickup of only about maybe 3 yards.
Yeah, if you do that on first down, you get 2nd and 7. Not 3rd and 7. So.
Exactly. And now you would normally expect this to be a throwing down, but with 10:30 and counting in the ball game, don't be surprised to see a running play here.
I would be running the ball here, and you've got looks like Kyrie Marshall back in the backfield. If it were me, I'd be running the ball and keep that clock running. Just ball security, remind them out.
They're going to throw it. And that pass is caught that time, laying on the sideline. Critical catch for that Palmetto Tiger offense, and he's going to have easily enough for a 1st down for the Tigers.
First down. You got it, though. Stepped up. Forward progress. First down. Run it 3 times.
They're going to spot that ball at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, they've got it spotted well past the 1st down markers, past the line to gain. So
and it looked like his forward progress was easily past the line to gain, and it is.
Yeah, he had it by 1.5 yards. They marked him 2 yards past the 1st down marker.
Still, it's a gutsy pass, gutsy call.
Yeah.
Executed well. Now, you'd expect maybe to take the air out of this ball just a little bit inside 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
How many times are you going to say that?
Yeah, they're doing it now. Kyrie Marshall with a big hole off the left side. Kyrie Marshall off to the races inside the 15-yard line, down to the 14, and that's why you run the football. Big gain, clock runs.
And that's, once again, I just describe his running style as violent.
Violent, exactly. One more look at it.
He wants to be the hammer, not the nail. He's looking for people to hit. He sees the safety coming up. He lowers his shoulder, dip and rip. He's not trying to. He never stops his feet. If he can get the ball security issue taken care of, he's
From
a
the
big
13.
timer.
He's an exciting player. Exciting on defense, even more exciting with the ball in his hands. I love the style. First down handoff, Kyrie Marshall, and Marshall powers his way forward for another nice pickup on first down. Looks to be about 6 yards, maybe 7.
This is what I envisioned him doing in the beginning of this drive. Just feeding the ball to him, telling him keep 2 hands on the ball security, pound it in there, run the clock.
And they're going to give him almost 8 yards on that first down pickup.
We saw
Second
this
down and 2.
about this point in the game last week against Manatee. The Lakewood Ranch defense kind of lost.
And Manatee
lost
exerted
what they
that
had
dominance with their offensive line and
late in
running
the
game.
Yeah, and you can see it now. The Lakewood Ranch defense looks like they're a little fatigued.
And let's not forget it was Palmetto that played a game on Tuesday night of this week in Lakewood Ranch with a full week of rest. But right now, it's Palmetto.
Jamil Williams at tailback. And they're going to throw.
Throw it again, and they got a receiver, Callaway. Callaway breaks a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown, Palmetto. Malik Callaway. And that is going to be the nail.
I would agree.
So Palmetto with we talked about the mistakes, Coach. Surely there was enough mistakes to go around on that Palmetto offense and defense all night long, but Palmetto's looking dominant tonight.
Yeah.
Outstanding performance in a critical district game against Lakewood Ranch.
Well, they've been able to run the ball, and Lakewood Ranch has not been able to run the ball the way they did against Manatee. And that's been a difference in the game.
And again, we talked about that short week. All the more credit to this Tiger team.
A lot of credit goes out there. The distractions of homecoming week with 2 games, all the stuff. As a high school coach, I hated homecoming week. You had the Spirit Week and everybody dressing up and games and people at halftime, and your players got to go out and get awards and all of that. Plus, play a game on Tuesday night against crosstown rivals Southeast. That's a huge test, and those guys are going to sleep well this weekend.
And they put up that 40 burger on Southeast on Tuesday. Not surprising. Tonight, 41 points with 8 minutes to go, 8.5 minutes to go in the ball game. I would say that's just a little bit surprising, given what we've seen from this Lakewood Ranch team all year long.
Well, Coach West had mentioned that his defense had come a long way. Going into the season, they weren't sure what they had, and the defense had been playing better. But the last couple of weeks, they've played 2 teams. There are 2 district games that were probably a little more talented than some of the teams they played earlier, or more athletic, I should say, not necessarily more talented.
Yeah, they gave up 240 yards on the ground last week to Manatee, and their other loss on the year, they gave up 290 yards on the ground to Braden River High School. So in those games where where Lakewood Ranch has lost, it's been the defense against the run that has been the problem. That's the same thing that we see here again tonight. Munoz, this time with a return from his own goal line. And Munoz with a nice move still on his feet out to the 30-yard line. And that's where Lakewood Ranch is going to begin this drive, first down and 10 with only 8.5 minutes go in the game. And they are down 24 points.
He might be the most consistent kick returner I've ever seen, Munoz. And we've seen him probably return 10 kicks this year, and everyone goes to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, and again, he's averaged just over 22 yards per kick return coming into the game tonight. And he's had a couple of nice returns. He did have the fumble on one of them, but a couple of nice returns and a couple of nice moves in the hole to shake free a couple of defenders and get Lakewood Ranch better starting field position. Now, 30-yard line. The problem here, 8.5 minutes to go in a 24-point deficit.
Now you got some new faces in on the defensive line now for Palmetto. So.
And Everhart on the carry. Lakewood Ranch trying to gash him on the ground, and they do get 11 yards on that first down pickup. Let's see if Lakewood Ranch hurries up to the line of scrimmage. And they're taking their time.
That's Dino involved in the tackle there.
And Dino is number 51, Chikatev. First down handoff. And that time Everhart's going to be stacked up after a minimal gain. Second down.
The pile move looks like he got about 4 yards.
4 yards. You're down 24 points with 7.5 minutes to go in the ball game.
4 yards is minimal.
Minimal.
And I'm sure Palmetto's okay with them running for 4 yards and the clock running.
All night long. Surprised Lakewood Ranch, even though it's a big deficit, not a lot of time left. I'm surprised there's not more urgency with this Lakewood Ranch offense. High snap again through the hand of Deasy. Picks that ball up. Rolls right. Got a man down there and just throws it up. Incomplete double coverage. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 6 now for the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs. Clock stops with 7:24.
Another unforced error. Well, both teams, several errors tonight that their coaches are going to want to clean up.
And we've seen about maybe 6 or 7 snaps from both teams either been high or off the mark. We saw that last week in the Manatee game where Manatee was making that critical error.
4 or 5 times.
So these shotgun snaps from center, a problem. All across Manatee County. Third down and 6.
Yeah, I am really surprised at the amount of time that Lakewood Ranch is taking to get these plays. They may not get this one off. They've got 3 seconds.
They're battling the play clock here. The game clock stopped at 7:24.
Well,
they get it
snapped
off.
it right when the ref was grabbing the flag.
Oh, and Connor Anthony, the intended receiver, right through his hands. That would have been good enough for a Lakewood Ranch first down, but it's going to bring up 4th down and 6 now for the Mustangs.
And Dees took a shot there right as he released the ball.
He's been hit a couple of times tonight.
Yes, he has.
He's a tough kid. We saw him get planted last week against Manatee, got up and still was a gamer.
Yeah, he took a vicious hit from Dino tonight as he released the ball earlier. It's 4th down. This is it for Lakewood Ranch here with 7 minutes left.
And Dees. And that
Almost
pass is
picked.
going to be broken up, almost picked off again. Is that Thomas
Johnson?
Thomas Johnson
Who
once
else?
again.
Who else would do that?
And so the Tigers are going to take over possession of this football with 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the ball game, up 24 points. And you expect that we will not see another ball in the air from Xander Smith tonight.
I don't think you'll see Xander Smith tonight. I think we're going to see a new quarterback.
Well, there you go. Smith with his helmet off on the sidelines. You're right, Coach.
It looks like all the 2s are in. I see a lot of the starting offensive linemen on the sideline there. Teddy Powell, DeAndre Berry. They have their helmets off, and they're taking their tape off, so it looks like the 2s are going in. The quarterback's going to be Wester, a freshman come up from the JV team. Very good athlete. If they let him run the ball, he can do some things.
And instead it's a handoff to Devon Thomas, and Thomas is going to plow his way ahead for about a 5-yard gain that time.
I think you'll probably see Wester run a little zone read or speed option and try. He's very athletic and try to get him involved in the running game. He's number 13. He came up to run some kickoff returns against Braden River. I don't know if that might be the first time he's actually touched a ball in a varsity game, but been playing some wide receiver and running back and quarterback on a JV team, I believe.
And Wester with a high snap pulls it in, and he's going to run that ball off to the right side, and he'll be brought down by that time number 51.
He's close to a first down. I think he's got it. He got the first down. That was a hard run for a smallish player. Lowered his shoulder and got some yardage after contact.
Evan Bullock on the stop for Lakewood Ranch. First down and 10 for Palmetto at the 35. Thomas behind Wester. 6.5 minutes to go. Another
Nice
high
snap.
snap. And Thomas that time with a carry about 4 yards. It's going to be a yard shy of that first down. 3rd down and 1 for the Tiger offense. And check that, 6 yards to go.
Like you said, I don't think we'll see the ball in the air anymore, but you never know.
Well, with your twos in there, you might want to give them a chance to
yeah,
see
that's
what
what I
they
was
got.
going to say. Sometimes a coach wants to let
Another
the young guy
high
have a shot.
snap. It'll be slammed down after a pickup of a few yards that time. Shamari Parker, the running back, now in the ball game for the Tigers, and he'll exit the game. It's going to be 3rd down and short. Third down and 2 for the Tigers. From the 27, another high snap. Wester hauls it in, and there is a pass out there. It is complete. And he's got a receiver along the sideline.
81, I think that's Hills, Joe Hills.
Joe Hills is a familiar name.
Joe Hills Jr., his dad, Joe Hills, started here, University of South Carolina.
One of the best backs in Tiger history.
Currently working for the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Saw him here tonight, earlier.
And we've got a
Still looks
break.
like he could play. There he is right there.
So with our final water break, 5 minutes and 1 second remaining in the ball game. This one is obviously out of reach and decided at this point. So Lakewood Ranch is going to wind up 0-2 in District 13. And Palmetto setting themselves up for an October 28th showdown for first place in that 4S District 13.
Well, it's not first place; it's a championship. There's only 3 teams, so
the final.
And that's the only way to be sure you're in the playoffs, because it's possible that the runner-up in this district does not make the playoffs.
Very possible. Palmetto would have to, if that's them, they're going to probably have to run the table because it's going to be that strength of schedule, and they're going to have the points awarded.
Yeah. So
across the region,
that's going to be a huge game over there at Joe Kinnan Field at Hawkins Stadium.
And surprise, surprise, it will be the Manatee Schools Television Game of the Week that week.
Yes, it will. And you'll get your pina colada shake.
Yes, I will.
Wester
with a carry that time off the left side, and Wester wiggles his way near the goal line.
He's slippery. I told you, he's an athlete. They like him a lot. Coaches are very high on him, on his athleticism and ability to make guys miss. He's got to get in the weight room and put a little weight on.
That's going to be a 1st down and goal now from the 3-yard line for the Tigers. He's a freshman, so he's got a lot of time and a lot of room to grow.
Yep.
You don't see too many freshmen being able to get on a varsity squad out there and getting snaps.
He's got 2 cousins that played here that are both at FAU now and doing well. The Wester name, people in Palmetto are used to hearing that.
Another high snap, and
yeah,
he hands that ball off, and that's going to be a touchdown. And Palmetto tacks another one on with 4:16 to go in the ball game. Devon Thomas.
Just to handle those snaps and make the handoff is a good athletic play. We've seen so many times in the last 2 weeks that quarterback can't handle that high snap, and Wester did a great job his first time out there in varsity action, getting some high snaps, pulling them down in time to make a handoff.
You got to give a lot of credit to Coach Dave Marino and his staff out there to get this team ready after a short week. Again, they played on Tuesday night, taking on Southeast and taking them out 40-3, and then turn around 3 days later and be able to get their first district game and their first district win in tremendous fashion here. 47 points on the board now, extra point pending for Brandon Gonzalez, but an impressive victory. So again, hats off to Coach Marino and his staff for the job they've done preparing their kids to get out there and play tonight. Smith gets it down, and Gonzalez gets it through. And that's point number 48 on the board, 4:16 to go in the ball game. And we're just looking at the clock from this point. And one more time, in case people missed it out there, our cameramen tonight, these are students at Palmetto High School, part of the TV production class. Some are not. Some of these guys have never operated a camera before this evening, and the job they've done tonight has been tremendous. So Rashia Brown, Cooper Stover, Will Weaver, outstanding job. And again, hats off to Nick Backelder and Adam McClune, who have been able to get this game on the air tonight from our MSTV staff. Great job.
And our statisticians, Eric Gill, Leo Gill, and Charlie Gill.
The Gills. Great job getting those numbers out. We appreciate that. Adding to the quality of this broadcast.
plus pumping profits into the concession stand from what I saw, the pile of concession food.
I did not, unfortunately, get to sample those cheeseburgers. It's a story for another time, my friend. But as it is, my waistline will appreciate that. And Palmetto and Gonzalez getting ready to kick this thing off. Munoz and Everhart back once again for the Mustangs. Let's see if this thing goes into the end zone as usual, and it does. So Lakewood Ranch will begin first down and 10 from their own 20-yard line with 4:16 left to go in the ball game, and down a bunch.
I wouldn't be surprised if Lakewood Ranch even maybe put somebody else in, some subs on offense, get him some work. You're not going to come back from 31 points with 4 minutes. If he has some guys that he wants to get some reps now, this would be a good time to do it.
Yeah, you got to believe that, at this point there's no hope for any district victory. They're not going to be making the playoffs this year. It's over. And you got to look at the upcoming schedule for Lakewood Ranch, and they've got next week they're going to be at Gibbs High School up in St. Pete. Then they're going to go to Bayshore High School the week after that and close things out at home against Booker High School.
Fumble recovered by
Palmetto. That's another ball on the
Palmetto.
ground. And D's also down on the ground.
It's like number 17 on the recovery.
And that's
Justin
Scott, the defensive end for the Tigers. Let's take one more look at this.
I just talked about how catching a high snap is not that easy, and there's one that gets away. Justin Scott, good job.
And Clayton Dees, a good athlete. So
Yeah.
it does, as you said, Coach, take a tremendous amount sometimes, especially when those snaps are high with the frequency that we've seen them tonight, last week. It's becoming epidemic. And Palmetto's going to take that ball over inside the 15-yard line, about the 12-yard line. And we talked about Lakewood Ranch's upcoming schedule. And Palmetto, they've got Lake Gibson coming up next week before they take on Manatee, and that's going to be at Hawkins Stadium on October 28th, and that's for all the marbles.
And this score, if Palmetto scores here, we'll run the clock after that. So.
And that handoff now, the Wester, and that's going to be close to the end zone.
28, Jamari Parker, I believe. Nice run, got about 9 yards, down to about the 2 or 3 yard line. 2nd and 1 from the 3.
Clock running, 3:48 and counting now. Palmetto looking to get past that 50 burger.
More importantly, the 35-point lead will run the clock. There'll be no stops.
Second down now for the Tigers.
Yeah,
from the 2. And Wester's going to keep that ball. He's going to be dragged down, almost a horse collar. And there's that flag right there. That will be a horse collar tackle from the 5-yard line. Not much of a penalty, half the distance.
Once again, a little bit of high snap. He bobbled that one. It is a first down, though, is it? No.
Yeah, and you see Evan Bullock with that penalty right there.
They're marking it.
No, it looked like it went half the distance.
Well, it was from the spot, and it was about 4 yards in the backfield when they made the tackle, so it's going to be second down again.
I didn't realize that was a spot foul.
Yeah.
And that time, wrapped up. Nice job, but, spoke too soon, down to the 1-yard line. Parker looked like Lakewood Ranch was going to jam him up there at the 2-yard line, but he's able to break free and get it down to the 1. Inside the 1. And that's going to make it a first down and goal for Palmetto inside 3 minutes. Wester and Parker in the backfield. Handoff, keeper to Wester, and Wester walks in easily for the final Palmetto touchdown, what promises to be the Palmetto final touchdown of the evening with 2:43 left to go in the ball game.
Wester's going to be an exciting player for Palmetto, I think, as a 9th grader. Looks good out there.
Xander Smith, a sophomore quarterback, so he's going to have a long wait in front of him the way Xander Smith has progressed so far. Again, with that running game, taking pressure off of Smith. He's made some really nice throws out there tonight.
Well, he's the kind of athlete that can play a lot of other positions. And, you know, as these core of receivers they have moves on, you know, he'll play some receiver maybe if that's the case, or give you a different type of look at quarterback. He's a different type of, much different style of quarterback than Xander.
Indeed.
So unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Tigers. The dead ball foul, so the touchdown will count.
A little celebration penalty there.
Yards will be taken off.
So we'll see if Gonzalez can kick it in the end zone from 15 yards deeper. Be a real testament to his leg.
And right now his leg's being called upon for the extra point to make it 55, and it's up and good. So with 2:43 remaining in the ball game, Gonzalez's leg makes this 55-17, Palmetto over Lakewood Ranch.
And I see Lakewood Ranch warming up another quarterback over there, a backup quarterback.
Remember, Dees went down hard after that last possession. You don't need to expose him to any more hits against this Palmetto defense, even though we've got a lot of second teamers and backups in the ball game right now. There's nothing that you can really do with your starters out there.
Junior Sebastian Mejia warming up over behind the Lakewood Ranch bench, and expect him to come in at quarterback. I thought he would have come in a series earlier.
And Mejia, the regular holder on the point after team, the extra point team for Lakewood Ranch. And here comes that penalty being marked off, the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, 15 yards against the Tigers. And that's going to have them kicking off from their 25-yard line. I'm guessing that Gonzalez is not going to make the end zone on this one.
Nah, probably not. Yeah, you never know if he kicks one of those line drives, gets a good roll.
Would that technically be into the end zone with the roll? I mean,
if the ball goes in the end zone, it's a dead ball, so it's going to be a touchback. Either way, touchback's a touchback.
And there's your running clock with the 35-point lead right now, so this thing's going to come to an end quickly. And you got to appreciate that about high school football.
Yes. Once a game gets beyond 35 points, the running clock is a beautiful thing.
For everybody involved. And Gonzalez winds up for that kick, and it is a low-line driver. Caught over the head by Everhart. Played a little center field there, and Everhart with a lot of running room out there. And he'll get the ball out to about the 43-yard line where Lakewood Ranch will take over, and that clock again ticking. It's not going to stop for the offense to take the field, and we may not even see a snap.
Like 25 on the tackle for Palmetto on the kickoff coverage there.
And indeed, we've got the Lakewood Ranch offense still on the sideline. It looks like Coach West has taken his team almost off the field with that running clock, 20 seconds to go. We will not see another play in this ball game. So congratulations to the Palmetto Tigers. They go 1-0 in District 13 4S, and they are again headed for a matchup for the district championship with Manatee in 2 weeks. And it was a hard-fought game for most of the night's ball game, Coach. Really, the first half was a back-and-forth slugfest, and then Palmetto just went ahead and took control of this ball game in the third and fourth quarters.
Yeah, it was a good game. I just think Lakewood Ranch kind of ran out of gas, and they didn't have the horses, the depth to stay with Palmetto. The athleticism of Palmetto kind of tired them out, and Palmetto's ground game eventually started pounding on them, and the defense took control and started really harassing Dees every time he got back there to pass. So good game by Palmetto, good game by Lakewood Ranch. The teams shake hands now, and the Palmetto wins their homecoming game.
And again, Lakewood Ranch going to be taking on Gibbs High School out of St. Pete next week at Gibbs. And Palmetto's going to be back home right here to take on Lake Gibson next week before their big matchup with Manatee for the district championship in 2 weeks. So that's going to do it. Your final score from Harley Stadium at Palmetto High School is the Palmetto Tigers 55 and the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs 17. For Adam McCune, for Nick Backelder, and for all the students that helped with that camera work out there tonight, great job again. And for Coach Chris Comboy, I'm Skip Wilhoit, and we'll see you next week on the Manatee Schools television presentation of the High School Game of the Week.